Out the womb of man, with everything that you demand. You could say I had a plan, way before I had a fan. Some would probably call it luck, I just call it being blessed. You ain't never did the work, but you wanna be the best. Lately I could never stress, never better yet. Might have had a thing for you, she know I'm the better bet. I digress, I let it rest, go and get another check. I could always see my future, I bet they can never guess. Guessing they get it, cause look at me now and then look at yourself in the mirror. I know they doubted my thesis, but they doubted Jesus, and right now I'm making it clear. Clearly these people don't know where they going, and lately I feel like the man with the map. I got this shit out the mud, you could give me the wood and I'll probably give it right back. Back at the bus I was scraping the change, back in my head I was living the life. Back in my job I was losing the focus, just trying to find ways to get back to the mic. All of this working ain't working, I feel like a liar and I cannot lie to my soul. I know the truth universal, so don't let me tell you, I know that a lot of you know.
Spilling pieces of a poet, don't you know that I'm the real thing, baby? And if you don't make $1, then I couldn't make a real change, baby. Pieces of a poet, don't you know that I'm the real thing, baby? And if you don't make $1, then I couldn't make a real change, baby.
Out the womb a giant, you were licking, you were climbing. Now you got so much to say, I was hurting, you was quiet. Glory is as glory does, so you know the story love. Never thought he'd be a legend, he was always sure he was. You was always naysaying, some things never change. Spiritually I never age, feeling like 11th grade. Junior me, proud of me, standing tall, towering, doing things I never do. If I was living cowardly, sushi roll sour D, song 3, hour 3. I don't even go to sleep, know the Lord empower me. Wake them up, they sound asleep, they gon' hear the sound of me. When the money getting up, truly ain't no down in me. Finally get it, cause look at me now and then looking at me from the picture. They probably thought that I need them or thought that I keep them. They lucky if I even miss them. Thinking that you got me figured, you figured it wrong, but it's okay, I truly forgive you. Lately I ain't got the time to be picking no fights when I'm trying to pick shit from the menu.
Pieces of a poet, don't you know that I'm the real thing, baby? And if it don't make $1, then I couldn't make a real change, baby. Pieces of a poet, don't you know that I'm the real thing, baby? And if it don't make $1, then I couldn't make a real change, baby. follow, but I can't lose it.
Hello, race fans. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to X Adventure here live on Twitch TV for the Season 54 finale of the Forza Spec Racing Series featuring the 2010 Crown Victoria. I've got my Ford shirt on. That way I'm in the appropriate attire here for the final ninth race of the season. 5 weeks, just go by like that, I tell you. Go ahead and take a look at the standings here. Entering week number 5, this ninth and final race in which the points are doubled. LS Subaru going to come away as the Season 54 champion at 300 points. Enraged Barney at 264. Let me back up to LS Subaru. LS Subaru has won every single race here in Season 54 and has a chance for the second time only to get the Golden Broom, to win all 9 races, the clean sweep of the season. You can get the victory here tonight. We shall see. Enraged Barney, 264. 8 points ahead of CMB Slipstream. You see CMB Slipstream highlighted in gold there, out in front of Audrex. That is thanks to Slipstream finishing in second back there in race number 8, Rio de Janeiro. It was a crazy, crazy race. But Slipstream able to pick up the second place finish there. And second top 3 finish here in Season 54. Able to move Slipstream from 4th overall on the leaderboard 1 week ago to now 3rd. We'll see if Slipstream can stave off Audrex here out at the Bernese Alps. That's going to be the closest. I feel like that's going to be the best battle to watch here tonight. We'll see if it comes to fruition. Fear the Fun at 242. Not to forget mentioning Audrex at 244. Fear the Fun at 242. 197 there for Patches Riley. Slow Motion Fire 189. Unfortunately, Slow Motion Fire unable to participate in week number 4. And I believe is unable to participate here again tonight in week number 5 due to some real-world job-related conflicts. Oh, I know that I know that all too well, and sad to not see slow motion fire out here on the track for this finale of the final season. By the way, this is the final season that the Forza Spec Racing Series is conducting business in Forza Motorsport 7. CUDA 93, 186, 179 for Chaos Fox, and 166 there for Modern Weapon to round out the top 10. How about you? We almost have 20 total drivers here from season 54. I think technically we're going to be able to fill this leaderboard tonight because the one and only Cratrium, formerly known as C-Tom and formerly the winningest driver in Forza Spec Racing Series, is making an appearance here tonight. You got DeBronham, Celtic Warrior, Midnight Rider, LMP Reyna, Born as Ghost, T-Phrase, Dino Dado, SFM Darkster, NWR, Onion with too many eyes there on the right-hand side of the standings. Thanks to all of you who have participated here in the final season of FM4 in Forza Motorsport 7. All right, I already mentioned it. Bernese Alps, it's not my favorite circuit. Nobody can convince me otherwise that it's a good racetrack, but that's neither here nor there. Well, it is here. It is here tonight as a circuit in which the finale will be conducted. 65 laps. 65 laps around the Bernese Alps circuit. Of course, the pit lane will be open, allowing our drivers to get repaired should they damage their vehicle, but then also refueled and a new set of tires if they are so lucky to last the entirety of the tire's life. It is going to be an interesting one to see how many pit stops are going to be necessary in this race. I'm actually kind of leaning toward 2. Most of our events here in Season 54, as you can see, have been averaging around 15 or so laps. And those fuel tanks have depleted quite a bit in those races. Not entirely, because the pit stops were not necessary in the first 8 races, but they most certainly will be tonight, and multiple times, I think. Multiple times. Heck, it could even be more than 2. What do I know? We shall see. All right, back into the broadcast booth. Hello, friends. Welcome. I hope you all are having a good week here. We've got Big J Bishop in the chat. Trotting Boots is here. Silver Alethea? Oh my gosh. I might have messed that up. I forgot from when I was given the correct pronunciation a couple of weeks ago. Also here is Cratrium. Cratrium, by the way, says, since Slow isn't here, I'll say it. Good evening, Dustin. How about all the times that Slow was here? You couldn't say hello, good evening to me? No, welcome, Cratrium, and glad to see you out on the grid here for tonight's race. And I think that's it. I think I called out everybody's name. LS Subaru also, and NWR Onion. Oh my gosh. I'm forgetting. I'm missing names, but I think I got them all there. DWM Frog now in the chat. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is the final race in Forza Motorsport 7 for the Forza Spec Racing Series. Can you believe it? A new Forza Motorsport title is on the horizon. It's amazing. After 6 years, they have finally approached the release date of what is to be known as Forza Motorsport, not Forza Motorsport 8, but Forza Motorsport. So they're gonna have to do that weird thing where it's like Forza Motorsport parentheses 2023 in parentheses. I don't know where they would do that because it's not like the game is on sale digitally, the original Forza Motorsport. So I guess that conflict is a non-issue. But yeah, after 6 years of development for this new title and what is close to 20 years for the franchise in total, we are about to see the 8th in the series release here October 10th, but October the 5th, I believe, if you have the premium ultimate spend all the money edition. Yeah. The thing about this, however, chat, the thing about this new title is that sadly, it is not releasing with a spectate mode. So, you are not mistaken. You are reading the title of the stream correctly, is that this is the final broadcast here on X Adventure.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
Oh, I forgot to turn the sound alerts off. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate you weighing in on the situation. Hold on. No, you're good. It's my fault for forgetting. It's my fault for forgetting. I usually turn them off just for the Forza Spec Racing Series so that as I'm commentating, we don't get the extra sound effects. It's completely my fault. It's my doing. There we go. Oh! You got one more. You got one more in there. Congratulations. You were successful. So yes, this is the last broadcast of the Forza Spec Racing Series here on X Adventure as I've decided to go on. It's not actually a matter of going on to different things. It's just a matter of I'm not going to do the streaming thing anymore, which is both sad, but at the same time a little bit relieving in the sense that now I have a little bit of extra time to do other stuff, whatever that will be. I don't know. But definitely sad because for, oh gosh, what has it been? It's been since 2018 or since 2018. So pretty much 5 years on the dot. Almost. I'm like a month off from being an entire 5 years out from having started things here with the Forza Spec series. Myself, the broadcast. Of course, the Forza Spec crew has been doing this since Forza Motorsport 4 days. I jumped on board with Season 24 in 2018. October 30th, 2018 was the very first broadcast I had of the Forza Spec Racing Series. Now, I don't remember how it happened. I don't know how I became the broadcaster of the Forza Spec Racing Series. I'm not sure what opportunity led to me doing that. But I will say that prior to hosting or broadcasting these races, I hosted my own assortment of races in Forza Motorsport 7 and commentated them and very much enjoyed that. And what I call the heyday of the channel. It's how the channel got affiliated here on Twitch. It's how the channel amassed 30, 40 viewers on average within probably about a 12-month window, which was a really fun, really exciting time. Little did I know that we would not have a Forza Motorsport 8 in 2 short years, and instead we just kept going and going with Forza Motorsport 7, which has been a blast. It's taking the opportunity to be the voice, I guess, of FM4 here on X Adventure has been something that I certainly will not ever forget. I will never regret doing. I guess the only thing I do regret about it is that haven't had the chance to really have an impact on even more members of the community. So, yeah, winding down the broadcast with Forza Motorsport 7, the title in which I started broadcasting in, which is really, really weird to think about. Of all the Forza Motorsport titles that have existed, everything has happened here in FM7. I only wish there was a spectate mode coming at the launch of the new Forza Motorsport title, because without a doubt, I'd be right there with y'all, the drivers, those of you who are viewers, or even just maybe you don't participate in FM4, but maybe you game yourself just off to the side in Forza Motorsport 7, or what will be the new Forza Motorsport title. I'd be right there with you, but not having the ability to bring you all the action from green to checkered of FM4 was a pretty big blow for me in terms of what I saw for the broadcast, for the channel, for FM4. And so I take the opportunity here with the cards that have been dealt to go ahead and say, all right, last race of the season. And Speaking of which, the grid has been sorted. It's going to be Modern Weapon and Chaos Fox in row number 1, followed by Kuda, Patches Riley. Fear the Fun and Odd Draxar in row number 3. Enraged Barney, LS Subaru, row number 4. Mega Chin, NWR Onion with Too Many Eyes in row number 5. And then Darkser and Celtic Warrior in row 6, followed by Cratrium. Good to see you there, Cratrium, out on the grid, all by themselves in row number 7, P13. What will I do on Tuesdays now? You and me both. You and me both. Yeah. Onion, I have spectated. I'm in spectate mode. I know you posted that a little bit ago, but I'm there. We're good. No qualifying here in the final race. Just as a reminder, we jump straight into the racing action with the grid ordered by championship point total. So those who have the least amount of championship points will be at the front of the grid. Those with the most will be at the back of the pack. And all right, here we go. Modern Weapon is just going to right at the load in of the game. Not going to wait at all. Modern Weapon is off the line here in turn number 1, coming out of that big sweeping left-hander with very little camber to it. And now coming up to the right-hander, or excuse me, another left-hander. There are actually a lot of left-handers here. Very few right-handers out here at the Bernese Alps. It looks to be a mostly sunny sky, a little bit of mist off there to the side. Bob Ross would be very proud there, since Trot and Boots had the Bob Ross sound alert going a bit ago. What's going on there, Slottles? You're not late. You're right here on time. Perfect timing. All right, so it's going to be Modern Weapon now dropping back to second position. SGR Chaos Fox with a little bit of a cheat code. You want to be at the front of the pack for the finale? Just don't show up for... No, I'm kidding. Chaos Fox, obviously racing when they can. Chaos Fox, who was 9th overall on the leaderboard with 179 points, now already out in front early on, with lap number 1 coming to a conclusion here in about, 3 seconds. Across the line they go for the beginning of lap number 2. Modern Weapon is followed by Patches Riley, followed by Odd Drex, Kuda 93, Fear the Fun in 6th position, Enraged Barney now already up to 7th, LS Subaru in 8th, NWR Onion in 9th, SFM Darkser rounding out the top 10 in 10th position. Let's go ahead and put the camera here on Fear the Fun, who is at the moment riding P6. And you may notice that Fear the Fun has replaced I Love Yoga Pants with I Love X Adventure. Well, thank you there, Fear the Fun. I appreciate that. Crossed it out, and X Adventure it is. Kuda 93 up to 4th here. You got Fear the Fun back there. Going to go to the inside as they get ready to go through the fast-paced chicane here at the top of the Bernese Alps hill before the left-hander. And back across the start-finish line. And there goes Fear the Fun, now playing defense a little bit with LS Subaru coming into the picture. Side by side, down the front stretch they come across the line. It's going to be LS Subaru on the bottom line there. Fear the Fun on the high line, and it looks like it's going to be LS Subaru, who, of course, is going to be able to make quick work of that overtake here at the beginning of lap number 3. And just like that, our points leader, our Season 54 champion, Fear the Fun, well, LS Subaru in 4th in front of Fear the Fun. Audrex up to 3rd. Oh, and there goes Enraged Barney. Wow, what a quick pass that was. Just that little bit of contact on the railing there by Fear the Fun. That's all it takes to slow you down quite a bit here in Forza Motorsport 7. They've got that in place so that you can't use the guardrails as a bit of a cheat and ride the rails as fast as possible, and instead it slows down Fear. Fear drops back to 6th, Enraged Barney up to 5th, LS Subaru in 4th, Drex in 3rd, Modern Weapon, who again started out the race in P1 thanks to the reverse grid order, is now still in 2nd after having been passed by SGR Chaos Fox, and is soon going to have LS Subaru, Drex, and Fear the Fun in the rear view mirror. And Enraged Barney, I should say. A little bit of a loading screen there. Hopefully we didn't lose anybody early on here at Bernese Alps. Hopefully not. Beginning of lap number 4 of 65. They're going to go too wide there. Enraged Barney and Fear the Fun did. Enraged Barney able to hold on to well, actually, that's Enraged Barney going up to P5. Now Fear the Fun dropping back to P6. A little bit of ways back is going to be Cuda 93, leading the pack of 4. That is Patches Riley, Craytrim, and NWR Onion. So 7th through 10th is headed up by Cuda 93. A little bit to the low side there was Fear the Fun beneath the curbing. Fear the Fun trying to find, and getting real along the guardrail makes sense there, but he's going to pay for it on the exit. The back end here of the Ford Crown Victoria, all 3,454 pounds of it slides up into the guardrail. I don't believe there's going to be any damage to Fear the Fun's vehicle. We'll go ahead and we'll verify here in the bottom right-hand corner. Just going to be a little bit of a bruise to the ego and a few scrapes to the paint job there. Take care of that paint job there, Fear the Fun. My name's on the side of it. Modern Weapon running wide here. Out of turn or into turn number 1 at the start of lap number 5. So Modern Weapon going ahead and taking the very high line there at the entry of turn number 1, allowing Fear the Fun to get by without incident. Enraged Barney now chasing, or has been chasing down Drex, and coming in closer here, only about, I don't know, 2.5 car lengths back as they hit the tricky left-hander where you got to have the right balance of braking and steering as you hit the dip, the valley there of that corner, and then you come through the ski resort section, which isn't all that tricky. This is probably the least complicated part of the track. Before you head back up the hill, here comes Enraged Barney trying to make a pass on the inside of Drex. They're going to go side by side. There's probably only room for one here. And just like that, Enraged Barney goes ahead and gets on the back bumper here of Drex in that yellow painted kind of taxi cab color there for Drex's Crown Vic. And now here comes Enraged Barney back onto the rear left quarter panel of Drex. Not able to make the pass. And instead, going to stay in single file formation back across the line. Lap 6 of 66? No, 6 of 65. But that's just a lot of 6s there in the upper left-hand corner. Everybody calm down. It's going to be okay. We're going to make it through. Our race leader now is, well, not now, ever since about the 3/4 mark of lap number 1, SGR Chaos Fox. But on the plow, if there were any snow to be had out on the track, you better believe LS Subaru would be plowing through it, making the charge up to the front of the field. You see there, just as he was coming out of the left-hander, a very small glimpse of the back end of SGR Chaos Fox's Crown Vic. So Subaru is gaining ground lap by lap, and I don't know, if I had to guess, maybe in the next 4 or 5 laps, we should have a bit of a battle here for first position. Maybe not a long-winded battle, but better believe Chaos Fox is not going to go down easy here, giving up the top spot. Drex still there in 3rd, Enraged Barney in 4th. Let's go back to Enraged Barney, who is attempting to make that maneuver around Drex for 3rd. The pit strategy definitely going to come into play here as we take a look at the stats here for Enraged Barney's car, already down to 3/4 of a tank remaining in terms of fuel, 30% tire degradation up front. So it's going to be really curious to see, is it going to be tire wear and lack of grip that goes before fuel, or vice versa? Thanks to those of you tuning in live and those of you watching on demand, the Forza Spec Racing Series Season 54 finale and their final race here in Forza Motorsport 7. A pretty momentous event for the F4 crew. I'm sure they're going to be stoked, absolutely excited to have some new tracks, some new cars, some updated physics to work with here. No word yet on when Season 55 will get going. They want to give all the drivers ample time to get into the new game, learn its nuances, get some cash in the bank and some cars in the garage, and then at some point they will announce the start of their new venture. Who cares about updated physics, says Trot Boots. What about the figure 8? Oh my gosh, that race was so good. Oh, and we've got contact. We've got a collision back here. Just as I was turning the camera over to another view, it looks like Modern... It can't be Modern Weapon. Well, maybe it is. Enraged Barney. Pardon me, folks. I am trying to get the camera in the right spot here. The timing is a little wonky. So as we can see, Modern Weapon is at speed. Not at all involved in that collision. But Enraged Barney was certainly a victim of whatever happened there. I will try to go to the X Adventure replay here in just a moment. It looks like it's Celtic Warrior. So it looks like Enraged Barney and Celtic Warrior got tangled up here at the top of the circuit coming out of turn number 2. And as you can see, Celtic Warrior suffering big time from a damaged vehicle. It's gonna take a bit to limp around toward pit lane. In fact, the climb back up the hill, I don't even know if that's going to be possible. Crate trip across the line in P5 on a racing island at the moment. Got a little bit of work to do to catch up to Modern Weapon, who, again, started the race in P1 thanks to the reverse grid order. But right now, Modern Weapon is running solo. After Enraged Barney got in that collision, Modern Weapon moved back up to P4 and is just kind of chilling now. Let's go to LS Subaru, who has fallen back to 3rd position. Odds Rex has made the move. Let's go back to that X Adventure replay and see if I can't... nope, already too late. I was too late on the button. But yes, just as I was getting ready to switch the camera, we saw the collision there. Now, blame Barney in the chat here saying rip, but we've got a lot of racing to go. This may not be the worst thing for Barney. Folks, do not be discouraged. If you're an Enraged Barney fan, oh, and we've got somebody. Okay, it looks like we might be getting a restart here, because we've got cars parked at the entry to lap number 1. Well, I don't know. We've got vehicles still driving. Rex is still out in front. Oh, yeah, I think we're done. I think we're about to see ourselves a restart here as Enraged Barney and Rex have a little bit of fun here on the uphill portion of the track. Okay. We'll go ahead and cut back here to the broadcast booth while the stewards of the race here tonight go ahead and take note of where everybody currently is situated, and we'll get a restart here momentarily. NWR Onion says, I have a skill issue. Well, we all have something that we can learn. We all have something that we can get better at in Forza Motorsports. So, yeah, I mean, sure, you might, but a little bit of practice. I know you haven't been able to be here for the entire season, so just make the most of it. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the standings here as a reminder where things are. Entering week number 5, this 9th and final race of the season. Enraged Barney, who we saw get caught up in that accident. This is a big week for Barney. In fact, Barney may not have a week to give here, and that is to say that with a drop week rule in effect, if I'm not mistaken, Enraged Barney may have a week within the previous 4. That would certainly be the best week for Barney to drop. And that is to say that Barney needs all the points that they can get here in race number 9 to really uphold that P2 position on the overall leaderboard. LS Subaru, again, is going to be our Season 54 champion. You might as well stick 400 points next to LS Subaru's name, because no matter what happens here tonight, 400 is the very least that Subaru will have. And as a result, no other driver mathematically will be able to match that. CMB Slipstream, you can see there with 256 points, was able to get a second place finish out at Rio de Janeiro last week, race number 8. And so CMB Slipstream has a lot on the table, but is not out on the track tonight. So where Slipstream currently stands at 256, depending on, well, it's not depending on anything. 256 is going to be it for Slipstream, because by not being out on the track here tonight, this race by default becomes their drop week. So Odds Rex at 244 has everything to gain by having a strong performance, a strong showing and finish here in race number 9, with a chance to get back into the top 3 on that leaderboard. Fear the Fun at 242, trying to hold on to the top 5 position. Patches Riley there. I don't know if mathematically Patches Riley can move up into the top 5, so Fear the Fun might be in a pretty safe spot. But, as you can see there, Fear the Fun is also challenging for P4, possibly even P3. Again, depends on how the drop week rule affects the championship point tally for each of these drivers coming out of tonight's race. Slow Motion Fire, who unfortunately we didn't have last week, that's going to be Slow Motion Fire's drop week, but not participating again here in race number 9. So 3 goose eggs, or effectively 4 goose eggs, because this 9th race is double the points. So effectively a 4 quadruple goose egg for Slow Motion Fire is what I'm trying to say here. Not going to do well. Cuda 93 at 186, SGR Chaos Fox at 179, and Modern Weapon 166 coming into tonight's racing action. All right, it looks like the steward has the lobby all set up and ready to go. I hope nobody got disconnected. I don't know that there was a disconnect. It seemed like maybe it was because of the accident that maybe they considered it a yellow flag. I don't know. I don't recall seeing anybody getting a DNF there early on. Rush 414, thank you so much for the follow. Better late than never, I guess. The final Forza Spec Racing Series broadcast here on X Adventure. I do appreciate it, though. It at least shows that you enjoy the content and that you were looking forward to sticking around, despite my intentions. All right. So Chaos Fox, who was leading the race, Chaos Fox really was on the wrong end of that restart. The bad end of the restart, because that just put Audrex and Chaos Fox, or excuse me, Audrex and Slow Motion, oh my gosh, Audrex and Subaru that much closer in this battle for first. At least for the moment, SGR Chaos Fox with about a 1 second lead over Audrex in P2. Let's go ahead and put the camera on LS Subaru, as Subaru trying to make the move around Audrex here at the end of what would have been lap number 7. But for all intents and purposes, I will say lap number 2 since the restart, or the end of lap 1, the beginning of lap number 2 of the restart period here at the Bernese Alps. Race number 9, season 54. They're racing the Ford Crown Victoria from 2010, 498 horsepower, 482 foot-pounds of torque, 3,454 pounds. Vehicle curb weight brings the Crown Vic at or up to a 700 performance index. Pretty high on the performance index spectrum. Oh, here we go. LS Subaru looking to the outside here, trying to make that pass on Audrex. Not going to happen. Ropes it back in toward the apex and gets onto the back bumper here of Audrex into the right-hander. Oh, yeah, it's going to quickly become a battle for position for P1 in about another lap or two, it would seem, as LS Subaru now here going to the inside. All right, through the fast-paced chicanes here. Are they going to try to go side by side? It's a risky maneuver if they attempt it. LS Subaru on the inside, then the outside as they go left, right, and about another left here in just a moment. There it is. And LS Subaru executes the pass beautifully. No surprise there. Two things you can guarantee out of Subaru. He's either in first, or if not in first, he's going to find a way around the drivers in front of him without any issue. Does so very cleanly. Finds the right spot. Just, you have to imagine that Subaru is just there critiquing you. If you've got Subaru in your rear view mirror, you just better believe he's critiquing you every step of the way, and right when he knows which direction you're going to go and how that makes you slower compared to his line, that's when he's going to pass you with ease. You're going to sit there and go, wow, that just happened, and it happened quickly, because he knows. He knows where he's quicker than you, and he just waits patiently until the time is right. Chaos Fox in first, Subaru in second, Audrex in third, Cratrium, C-Tom, one of the winningest drivers here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, back out on the track after so long. Good to see C-Tom out there with Cratrium in P4. Modern Weapon is going to lead a pack of vehicles. I guess this is our mid-pack crew here. Modern Weapon in 5th, Darkser in 6th, Enraged Barney in 7th, followed by Fear the Fun, and wait for it, Patches Riley in 9th. Let's go ahead and put the camera here on Enraged Barney. Actually, let's go to... Yeah, we'll go to Enraged Barney. Enraged Barney actually was the beneficiary, really came out on the right end of the restart, because Barney was in pit lane when the organizers decided they would do a full grid restart. Oh, and Fear the Fun's going to run wide, and without a doubt made contact with the tire barrier there, though. I think he was lucky in that he just kind of skimmed it. Oh no, here comes the loading screen. Inevitably, that means we lost somebody. And I'm going to take a look here at the ticker to find out who that was. It's going to be Kuda93, unfortunately, out early here in this 65-lap race, now down to 56 after the restart. And here goes Enraged Barney, giving up more positions. Enraged Barney was up there in 5th position, but Darkser and Modern Weapon seem to have gotten... Is there something wrong with Enraged Barney's vehicle? Let's take a look. I can't imagine that Barney is off the pace this badly. No, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that Crown Vic. And is struggling. Hey, Rush, how's it going? Are you going to be able to stream Forza Motorsport? Yeah, so I'm very much more of a broadcaster, a commentator. I don't play Forza Motorsport myself much these days. And I really don't see myself getting into the new one, especially since it's not going to have a broadcast capability. It's not going to give me the ability to see the next season here of Forza Motorsport, the Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series, a series that I've covered for the last 5 years. So, sadly, this is my last broadcast of FM4. Forza Spec Series. Let's go back to Chaos Fox here in P2. Holding on to Subaru as much as he can, as best as they can at this point. Crossing the line, beginning of lap number 5, 6. Whichever one. Audrex there in 3. Audrex just probably thinking, you know, Chaos Fox, if you could hold on and continue to battle Subaru, that might just hold him back enough that I can get back into the equation. But Subaru, even if you got somebody on the back bumper of Subaru, just does not have the tendency to slow down. Where other drivers might get more defensive and be more watchful of what's going on behind them so as not to give up position easily, and therefore you start to see tenths, hundredths, thousands of seconds come off of their pace. Subaru ain't like that. He's built different. He's built differently, Subaru is. Although Chaos Fox is doing a commendable job here. Hanging tight. Cratrium now starting to close in on Audrex. I am really curious. As you can see, I love Cratrium's livery here. Cratrium's got the Shadow Edge Media, so that was what the channel was originally called when I was hosting my own events. And then it changed over to Virtual Autosports shortly after I started commentating for the Forza Spec Racing Series. And now, of course, X-Adventure on the bumper, and thank you, Dustin, there on the hood. Very welcome, Cratrium. And thank you for entertaining the crowd here with your peerless driving skill. Look to the inside. Oh, came down to that corner. Might have been pretty heavy on the braking and almost clipping in there. It looks like it's clipping in. I think that's just the camera on the bumper here, the front bumper of Cratrium's car. I don't think there was any contact whatsoever. And now here comes Cratrium to the inside of Audrex as they get ready to head up the hill here at the Bernese Alps. And along the curving, not going to be able to make it happen there. But as they come through the chicanes here, we'll see what happens on this final left-hander if Cratrium tries to duck back down. Yes, he does! Makes contact with Audrex there on that left quarter panel. Thankfully for Audrex, was able to get the car back into a counter steer configuration and get the hood pointed in the right direction. Did not spin it around at all. And Cratrium held on it onto his vehicle quite nicely as well. And on they go. Now, sure, they've lost pace with Chaos Fox and Subaru a bit, but I think this battle for third is really where these two will be for the majority of the race here tonight. Now, of course, we'll see as pit strategy starts to come into play. They might lose sight of one another for a lap or two, but we'll just have to We'll have to see how that plays out. Here comes a back marker, Mega Chin there in 12th position between Cratrim and Audrex. Forza Spec Racing Series, welcoming drivers of all skill levels. It doesn't matter if you're going to be at the front of the pack consistently, at the back of the pack consistently, or somewhere in the middle. If you'd like to participate here as they transition into the new Forza Motorsport title, be sure to head on over to their subreddit, reddit.com/r/F4. Introduce yourself and say, hey, I think I'm interested in doing some league racing, some community-based league racing in the new Forza title. They've been doing this for 10 years, folks. I kid you not. That's the kind of reputation, that's the kind of camaraderie that they've built, and it's the kind of excitement that they generate with their racers, and then of course with our viewers here on X Adventure. Race in, race out, season after season. Cratrim is closing that gap between he and Audrex here at the early onset of lap number 9. We've got SFM Darksir now, who has peeled away from the larger pack. Same can be said for Enraged Barney, who after the restart hasn't done so hot. I would have been more interested to see how Enraged Barney would come out of that pit stop. There before the restart, because I'm not so sure that pit stop, as a result of a collision with Modern Weapon, or excuse me, not with Modern Weapon, but with oh gosh, was it Onion or was it Kuda? I just don't recall. But I'm not so sure that would have been the nail in the coffin for Barney's race. Getting an early pit stop, just depending on how the math works out, it may have been beneficial. But we'll never know. Enraged Barney currently in 6th position, trying to catch up with Darksir, who's about, I don't know, 2-3 seconds ahead in P5. Keeping the camera right here, Cratrim and Audrex battle for P3. Oh no, another loading screen. I don't like it. I don't like it at all, chat. Fear the fun. Fear the fun with the disconnect here on lap 16 of 65. So unless this race restarts, that's going to be an early exit for Fear, who entered tonight's race in 5th and probably is going to hold on to that. I don't know that Patches Riley is going to be able to have enough points to close the gap on the overall leaderboard. So Fear the Fun may safely occupy P5 even after this race. Back through the chicane. I love those. That's the only part of the Bernese Alps that I actually enjoy, is through the S curve there, the chicanes on the back portion of this track. This is the correct direction. This is not the reverse version of the Bernese Alps race or circuit. This is the correct direction. This track launching with, I always forget. I believe this was a Forza Motorsport 5. No, it wasn't. Prague was the Forza Motorsport. Why do I always forget that? Prague was the Forza Motorsport 5 hero track, and then it must have been Bernese Alps in Forza Motorsport 6. All right, here we go. Audrex way out to the outside here, lining it up into the right-hander. Cratrim looked like maybe was going to try to poke his head into the inside line, but Audrex closed that gap pretty quickly. And now up through the left-hander, back up the hill they'll go. Did they get a little bit of air here? Let's see. Sometimes vehicles at that point will get airborne ever so slightly. kind of a hard ask for a vehicle that weighs 3,454 pounds. A700 is the performance index level here in Season 54. All 9 races. The setup has not changed. That setup includes race exhaust, race cams and valves, race twin turbo with the twin turbo. Oh, and it looks like we are going to get a restart here. So they're going to get Fear the Fun back into the lobby. Let's see here. Lap 12. Well, this would be the beginning of lap 12. So really only 11 laps. I believe 6 laps were completed previously. So we should be around 17 laps completed of the 65 originally planned for this 9th and final race of Season 54. Back into the broadcast booth we go. It doesn't always happen here for the final race, but every once in a while. I feel like it's, well, this is probably because of Fear the Fun's disconnect, but this track has proven to be a little bit problematic for our drivers early on. A couple of crashes, several drivers going into pit lane very early. So hopefully, maybe with any luck on this third restart, well, actually, it's only the second restart. The third start in total, second restart. Hopefully, maybe connections can hold up better. Maybe now that drivers will once again have fresh tires and a full tank of fuel, we'll be able to go longer into the race without a doubt before having to take a pit stop. I guess we won't know how many pit stops would have been needed if we had run all 65 laps consecutively. Instead, everybody gets fresh tires, a completely rebuilt car, and a full tank of fuel. Fear game crash. What an appropriate way to send off Forza Motorsport 7. Yeah. You're not wrong, Cratrium. You're not wrong. Yeah, unfortunately, Fear the Fun has just had struggles with Forza Motorsport 7 in its latter years. And apparently, somehow it's tied to the AMD chip. The AMD, I don't know if he's got a graphics card or if it's an AMD CPU or maybe both. I don't know. Big J Bishop there, Fear the Fun in the game. Says, I like game. I love Lamp. All right, chat. I hope you're having a good Tuesday as we get through this final week of September. Who's a fan of October? Raise your hand in the chat. If you're a fan of October, make yourself known. I love October. And what I love most about October is once you turn that corner from Halloween into November, then you know you're in holiday season. It's holiday mode at that point. But October has always been a really enjoyable month for me. I love the cooler temps, obviously, especially now that I live in Colorado. It's a good month. Favorite month, says DWM Frog. Trot and Boots says Halloween is the best. With my departure from Twitch, I will say this. I'll see if there are any like-minded folks here viewing the broadcast, is that what has recently become a bit of a tradition for me is that there is a longtime streamer here on Twitch. He goes by the name of Dan's Gaming. Dan's Gaming. You actually may be familiar with his emote. He's got a whole emote here on Twitch in honor of him. There you go. There's Dan's Gaming in the chat. Dan's Gaming each October has done a streaming marathon with both recorded video and with live gaming. Has done a horror month broadcast all throughout the month of October, playing horror games, and it's always a neat way to kind of like inch toward the Halloween holiday. So if you find yourself here on Twitch every so often wondering, gosh, I've got nothing else to do, let me see if there's something interesting to watch, head on over to Dan's Gaming, I would say, and check out his channel. Horror Month actually begins on the channel, Dan's Gaming's channel, on Sunday, at well, yeah, it would be Sunday. Sunday morning at midnight Eastern. Midnight Eastern. All kinds of crazy stuff. Like some FMV games from back in the 90s, you know, full motion video game. I think that's what it stands for, FMV. Full motion video that like some of it is like borderline well, it's Twitch, so there's going to be inappropriate stuff on Twitch, but there's some stuff in there that he plays that is just like, wow, these were some interesting games that were made, horror games back in the day. And then of course playing some modern games too. Always interesting. Always a fun watch, at least for me. I don't know. Maybe it's my sense of humor, maybe it's just my own personal taste. I don't know. But that's my endorsement stamp. All right, here we go. Here we go. They're back on the grid, and wouldn't you imagine this? Or, well, not wouldn't you imagine. Well, I'm not sure about that restart. That restart was a little wonkus. SGR Chaos Fox just went. LS Subaru, who was on pole, should have been the one to dictate the start of the race, but I don't know. Not being that I am not in the racer comms, it looks like we are going to get a restart. Okay, good. Good to know that it wasn't just our observation, but that the drivers themselves said, hey, hold on. Now, of course, there might have been a weird, maybe something wasn't set correctly, and Subaru was trying to flag it for the marshals. I'll just put it this way. If this is some sort of weird way to keep the broadcast going, I won't stand for it. We got to be done here on time. No, I know they're not doing this on purpose. They're definitely trying to get the race going as quickly as possible, but something was amiss. Something was amiss either with the start or with the settings. They'll figure it out. That was definitely a start. It was. Trotton Boot says, I just imagine the organizers in a security room frantically pushing buttons as 2 alarms are blaring and 4 drinks have been spilled. Yeah, that might be an accurate depiction. Could be. All right, let's try it again. Take 4 here, folks. What is now officially our 3rd restart here this evening. It happens. It happens. For the first 8 races of the season, it's usually a non-issue because the races go by so quickly. It's these many endurance races at the end of the season that can get tricky. LS Subaru getting a little bit of a Morse code signal there with the reversers on the back of the Crown Vic. And now here we go. Kick the tires, light the fires. The finale is back underway here with 45 laps remaining of the 65 that are to be raced here in this 9th event of Season 54. LS Subaru back up the hill. Yeah, I know, I didn't say the thing. I know, I completely did not do the thing at the beginning of the race earlier, huh? Shame on me. No wonder why we've had so many restarts. LS Subaru not giving up permissions to start the event. It was Subaru who dictated the beginning of this 4th restart. Going to be followed by Chaos Fox, Audrex in 3rd, Kratrum in 4th, Darkser in 5th. And yes, now we've got ourselves a compacted field again. We've got artificial accordioning. Accordioning. I think I've tried to do this before, making it an adverb. Or, yeah. The field has regrouped. Of course, in a few laps here, it'll be stretched back out, but at least for now, we've got ourselves a four-way battle for first. And then it looks like from Enraged Barney in 5th position all the way back to Fear the Fun in 11th. That's where our largest pack of cars is. Megachen in 12th position. Let's go to Audrex in 3rd. Come on, Chaos Fox, bring the UA Mobile to the podium, says Silver Alethea. Gonna have to push that Crown Vic pretty hard here to keep pace with LS Subaru, but not out of the realm of possibilities, especially with so many laps to be had here. One little mistake, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be a mistake caused by Subaru himself. But maybe if he gets tangled up with a back marker, that's certainly a possibility. Pardon me for a second. I hope nothing drastic happens. I'm going to go fill up my coffee. I have depleted my large cup of coffee. Go grab some more. Be right back. Make everything happen now that he is getting coffee. Usually I have an intermission to work with. These longer races, not the case. All right, here we go through the field. LS Subaru, our race leader. After 4 restarts here in this 9th race of Season 54, followed by Chaos Fox in 2nd. Here's Audrex and Cratrium. The battle continues for P3. After our 2nd restart, this was a good one to watch, and why not again? SFM Darkster in 5th, followed by Enraged Barney. Enraged Barney trying to make their way back up through the field here. Enraged Barney 2nd overall on the leaderboard, entering race number 7. So looking for a solid finish here in the final race. Did I say race number 7? Race number 9. NWR Onion with Too Many Eyes in 7th. Celtic Warrior in 3rd. Fear the Fun in 9th position. Modern Weapon in 10th. Patches in 11th. And Megachen is 12th position. Ooh, it looks like maybe we've got an incident further back that's going to include Fear the Fun. And a little bit of help from a friend there does Modern Weapon get. It's going to be Fear the Fun, going to help him get around the track. And presumably back to pit lane. Let's go back to Cratrium here in 4th. Initiate Caffeine EXE. I need it today. It was a long work day, and it's a sad end to the Tuesday stream, so feed me the coffee. All right, while Cratrium continues to linger on the back back bumper of Barney. Let's go ahead and move the camera, not on the back bumper of Barney, on the back bumper of Audrex. Let's go ahead and put the camera on Barney. Jeez. I'm struggling today, chat. It's a good thing I'm retiring. It's a much-needed retirement, I feel like. SFM Darks are bouncing off the wall like a pinball a little bit here. It's going to allow Enraged Barney to inch closer. And if Darkster is not careful, not only will he have Enraged Barney closing in quickly, but then NWR Onion. You've heard that these Crown Vics have a lot of room. Well, technically, there shouldn't be any additional seats in these vehicles. They do have the race weight reduction applied, but for those of us familiar to how things work here in Forza Motorsport 7, the race weight reduction doesn't visually, doesn't remove anything visually from the vehicle. I mean, heck, even the street reduction and the sport reduction make no changes to the vehicle's visual appearance. I wish they did. I do wish they did. I wish that was something that that Forza would pull from the pages of Gran Turismo, or at least Gran Turismo from yesteryear, where you could take a vehicle in its street form, performance and visuals, the body of the vehicle, and really make it over into a bona fide race vehicle. Again, both performance and its visual appearance. I feel like that's something that's been lacking, with the exception of, you know what game, what title has done that extremely well is The Crew. Of all the developers, Ubisoft has found the way to give you the greatest transformation, the best makeover of a vehicle. It's too bad something similar to that doesn't exist here in Forza Motorsport. I really wish it did. Trotting Boots there in the chat says, old age is getting to him. It's our fault we made him work way past his retirement. Some days are better than others. Some days I'm more on it than others. It really all just depends on how the workday goes. The workday for me is a precursor of how good the commentating is going to be. All right, we've got a driver into pit lane. That's going to be it's going to be Patches Riley, who's headed in for some repairs. LS Subaru has really just ignited the afterburner, if one existed, here on the Crown Vic, because now everybody is just in Subaru's dust. Again, Subaru trying to make it 9 consecutive victories here in Season 54. That is every single race of the Season 54 schedule. Is the new Crew, is it as... Here's what I really... I gave the Crew 2 a shot. Here's what I really didn't like about the Crew 2 was the whole FOMO thing. The fear of missing out. FOMO. They would have vehicles that were like on this, you know, progression thing that lasted only so long, and then once it was gone, then, you know, good luck finding that car again. Here's another thing that has really pushed me away from the new Forza Motorsport is that I am genuinely a car collector in these games. You give me a game that has anywhere from 200 to 700 vehicles in it, my goal is to do the racing, to rack up the credits that allow me to purchase the vehicles, all the vehicles. I want to have them all. It's like Pokemon, but with cars. You got to have them all. And so anytime there's a system in place that makes it difficult to achieve that, I'm just like, really? Really? Forza Horizon has that to an extent. The thing that I'm thankful with Forza Horizon is that it's pretty easy to work your way through the festival playlist, at least for me. Jay Leno is the same way. Yeah. I want to be the Jay Leno of Forza, of Gran Turismo, of the crew. Just any racing game. I just want to collect the vehicles. Darkser making use of the inside apron there at that right-hander. Apparently the drivers have been given the leniency to use that part of the track. It may not be the quickest. It may not be the quickest. Here they go through the quick chicane here before the final left-hander out here at the Bernese Alps Club Circuit. This is the Club Circuit. Trot Boots there in the chat says, "Come on, Barney!" Barney still unable to move up from 6th position. However, I will say Barney has got... Oh, enraged Barney! Okay, they're on the brakes again. It looks like maybe we're getting another restart because Fear the Fun got that got a second DNF there a moment ago. I don't know, chat. I don't know how many restarts we're going to have. We might be going for a record here. This would be our 5th restart. Yes, I understand there was a restart in there that was an accidental restart, but I'm counting them as 5. So 6 total starts, 5 restarts, I think, is what we're up to. But hey, you know, they're going to do what they feel like they need to do. Are we even going to make it to 65 laps? Maybe we're trying to make this a 12-hour race. I don't know. I just don't know. I know that's what I was saying, Ghibli, is that they're restarting until forever. Until forever. So the broadcast never ends. Welcome back, folks. Into my virtual broadcast booth, which is just my loft. It always has been. My little part of the world in which I get to speak to you all here through the power of the internet at a beautiful 6,000 kilobits per second. How about that? We are trying to make our way through the final race here of Season 54 and what happens to be the final race of the Forza Spec Racing Series in Forza Motorsport 7. Tequilian? Or, no, Taco Hellion. I love it. It would be nice if the new one has a rejoin game feature, and I agree. I agree. If the new Forza Motorsport does not have quality of life improvements in terms of giving race organizers and those who participate in the races a way to more easily rejoin a race after a disconnect has happened, whether it's because of the participants' side of the network or if it's because of the Turn 10 / Xbox side of the connection of the lobby of the network. Regardless, having a way for drivers to be able to get back into the action, sure, maybe they're a lap down. Maybe you respawn them in the pit lane, which by default puts them a lap down. Allowing them to get back into the race without completely disrupting the event for everybody else, it seems like a must. Like we're on the 8th iteration of Forza Motorsport, and racing games have been out for a very long time, and racing games that are far more sophisticated in terms of organizing events. But it seems like at this point, the very least in terms of how disconnects should be mitigated or resolved is giving participants a way to get back out onto the track. Maybe not in the position that they were in when they left, because that would be unfair to everybody else, but at least being able to get back out there and have to fight back through the field and into competition. Attempt number 4. Attempt number 4? I don't know how many times you're counting. I think we're on attempt number 5 or 6 at this point. All right, out on the grid we go. It's going to be LS Subaru in pole position. LS Subaru's probably thinking, really? Really? I was so far ahead of everybody. You're going to make me do this again? Kick the tires, light the fires, folks. Here we go. Another restart. The season 54 finale out here at the Bernese Alps. We're going to have so many restarts that nobody's going to have to go into pit lane. Well, I know we've had people go into pit lane because of damage to their vehicle, but it's almost going to be to the point where a legitimate pit stop, because of the length of the race, is going to have not occurred. Extremely Daft Punk voice. One more time. Is that part of one of their songs? I'm not familiar with that one. Otherwise, I would try to imitate it and probably fail miserably. All right, here we go. The restart has occurred. We're down to 37 laps now remaining of the 65 that were planned for this event. SGR Chaos Fox now up to second position, Cratrim in third, Audrex in fourth, Enraged Barney in fifth, Darkser in sixth, Onion, Lumini Eyes in seventh, Patches Riley in eighth, Celtic Warrior in ninth, and Fear the Fun in 10th position. Oh, wait, hold on. Is it the one that goes, one more time? Is that it? That's got to be it, right? I'm pretty good. I am pretty good with song references, so I think I got that one. Oh, yeah, you've heard it. One more time. One more time. I want to celebrate. Oh, yeah. All right. Something like that. I don't know. As everybody goes, all right, I'm out. Deuces, Dustin, I'm out. We'll turn this stream into a virtual club. How about that? DMCAs be damned, because what are they going to do? Ban a channel that's closing down? All right, we got tire smoke all about the track here as they go through the S's section of the ski resort part here at the Bernese Alps. And now, as we look through the field, it's going to be Subaru, of course, leading the race. Cratrim in second. SGR Chaos Fox now drops back to third. Audrex in fourth. Darkser in fifth, who's going to go ahead and take the... Look at that. Darkser up on the the extremely cambered section of that final left-hander. Puts him up into the wall, and now here they go, side by side, back across the line for the beginning of lap number 3 following our restart. Audrex there in fourth. They're going to go 3 wide here through turn number 1. It's going to be Enraged Barney on the low line. Audrex on the mid-size line. No, that doesn't make sense. That's like the large bull for Papa Bear, the middle-sized bull for Mama Bear, and the baby bear bowl for Baby Bear. The little-sized bull. It's like we're doing the Goldilocks and the 3 bears here. No, what I meant to say was the midline there for Audrex. And, gosh, who was that? Chaos Fox or Enraged Barney on the outside line? I don't know. I get talking about nursery. They're not even nursery rhymes. They're fairy tales. Nice little battle here for P4. Darkser. Audrex side by side coming up the hill. And now here comes Enraged Barney. Enraged Barney again benefiting the most. They're going to go 3 wide here through the chute. The chicane. Oh my gosh, can you imagine if Onion got into the mix there and it was a 4 wide? I don't know that you can fit that many Crown Vics through there. Not sure that's possible. Chaos Fox and Cratrim are really probably digging the battle here for fourth. That's going to allow Chaos Fox and Kratrium to leave this pack as they continue to duke it out. A little bit of contact there on Darkser as Darkser was dropping down onto the low line, or more so the passenger side door of Drex's Crown Vic as they head back down the hill, carrying a lot of speed here. A lot of momentum going in the big lumbering Crown Victoria. And look at that view. That's a nice looking view right there. I can't say that I don't like the appearance of the Bernese Alps, that I don't like the aesthetics of it. It's just I don't care for the track. I don't care for the big uphill and downhill portions of it. Yeah, I don't know. Kicking some cones. There you go. Chat, we need some Kappa cones in the chat there, as it looks like SGR Chaos Fox was going ahead and throwing them out onto the circuit. Those will slow you down a tad. There you go. There's Trotting Boots. No, not Doritos. Cones! Kratrium holding on. The first place. Oh, I wish this was a battle we could have seen more of over the last few seasons. The last few seasons in which Subaru has dominated. It's been a while since we've had Kratrium out there. But good pace right here for Kratrium. Here on lap number 5 of the 37 remaining tonight. Oh, and runs it wide, and that little mental mistake, that lapse of judgment, that's all it takes for you to just basically say sayonara to Subaru. Subaru is now going to be gone. Let's go ahead and take a look at the vehicle here of Kratrium. Any damage? Any damage sustained? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm messing up the view. No damage to the car for Kratrium. Wouldn't be the final broadcast of the channel here, at least of the Forza Spec series, if I wasn't botching a few things along the way. Subaru in first, Kratrium in second, Chaos Fox in third, followed by Audrex and Enraged Barney fourth and fifth, respectively. Then you got Darkser in 6th, Onion in 7th, Fear the Fun in 8th, Patches in 9th, Celtic Warrior in 10th, Megachen in 11th. And we did have a 12th driver earlier, but I don't know if it was maybe the result of all the restarts, or I'm taking a look at the ticker. Yeah, Modern Weapon is out of the race here. And it looks like the drivers are going to carry on. There is a certain point here where they say, hey, we're so far along in the race that we are not going to do restarts, and we may have eclipsed that point already. I'm a little biased, but Kratrium's got the best livery out on the track right now. The Shadow Edge Media, the Virtual Auto Sports, and the X-Adventure logos, all on one vehicle. Let's go to Enraged Barney in 5th position. Pegasus, another Grand Theft Auto livery. Barney, and who has the other one? Somebody has a Sprunk livery, also from GTA. Look at that. Enraged Barney. Darkser opting for the low line there. Through the right-hander, able to put them out in front of Darkser. Sliding a little bit. Maybe carrying a bit more speed. As they approached the uphill section was Chaos Fox. Had them running off toward the guardrail, but able to avoid any serious contact. And now through, I guess I should be calling this the carousel. This really is the carousel of the Bernese Alps here. Onto the overpass and across the line, beginning of lap number 8. You'd like to get an X-Adventure poster for your room? I don't even know what that is. I did think at one point about like doing, you know, we have those photography streams every once in a while. I did think at one point of doing like a photography print giveaway for subs, you know? It's kind of contesty, so I don't know if it's a legal thing to do, but it was an idea that I had at one point. Was you know, if you're a sub, you enter into a contest, and if you get selected, then you could choose any of the photos that I had taken from a photography session for me to print out and send your way. Just never panned out. It was one of those things where it was like, I need a lot more viewership and revenue generated in the stream to help offset that expense. Because obviously printing, framing, and shipping would not be cheap. It wouldn't be super expensive, but there'd be some cost involved in that. Just never able to make it happen. Look at this. We got 2x2s coming here at the beginning of lap number 9. Out of turn number 1, it's going to be Odrex and SFM Darkser 5 and 6. And just in front of him, it is Enraged Barney and SGR Chaos Fox in 4th and 3rd. Let's go up to move the camera up to Enraged Barney. Oh, and some severe contact there. I don't know if that was just lag on in the lobby, because Chaos Fox's vehicle seemed to handle it pretty well. Look at this. We're almost 4 wide. Coming into the resort area here of the Bernese Alps. And just like that, Enraged Barney now back to P6. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's take a look here at... so this is Enraged Barney's vehicle. Got into the back of Chaos Fox. I'm not seeing any damage at the front of Enraged Barney's vehicle. And if we go look at Chaos Fox, I suspect we'll not see any at the back. We do not. So that must have just been some lobby lag that made it look like there was a severe collision, but not the case. As we get ready to start lap number 10 of 37. It's going to be Odrex now, who's up in P3. They're going to go 2 wide here. It's going to be Enraged Barney and Chaos... Actually, take that back. It's going to be Chaos Fox and Darkser battling for 4th. Enraged Barney, who did drop back there to 5th position or 6th position, is now waiting on the outcome of that contact. And the outcome is that Chaos Fox drops back. Enraged Barney now up to 4th, able to make the double pass there. That's really what makes these battles in the top spot all that exciting, all that much more exciting to watch, is when you've got not just 2 cars battling it out, but you've got a whole pack of 4. Is that you can have these like drastic changes in position with any mistakes that happen, with any contact that happens. It's not just a change of 1 spot, but could be 2 or 3. Look at that. Chaos Fox bringing it down to the low line here as Darkser opts for the outside. I think I saw a mirror fly off the car of Darkser's Crown Vic. And maybe even a little bit of guardrail contact there for Chaos Fox. And so now as they begin lap 11 of the 37 remaining here in race number 9, it's going to be Audrex still up there in P3, but now Darkster occupying P4. Chaos Fox in 5th, and Enraged Barney in 6th. Let's go to Darkster. This is great racing. Oh, and there goes Audrex up into the guardrail on the way down the hill here at the Alps. It did slow down Audrex, but I think Darkster even had to get on the brakes there. Not quite sure where Audrex was going to go after making that contact. Playing it safe here early on. At this point, if there aren't going to be any more restarts, the last thing you want to do is get into a situation where you're limping the car back to the pit lane. And so maybe Darkster just, again, playing it safe there. Darkster opting for the high line here through the carousel. Hard to tell if it really provides any sort of advantage. I suppose it could just depend on your driving style and or the setup of your vehicle. And oh no, we've got the loading screen once again. Waiting for the ticker to get to the end of the field here. Fear the Fun out once again, and I think that's it. I think that's going to be 3 strikes, you're out. Fear the Fun here in the final race of Season 54. Contact there. Darkster on the back of Audrex. We've seen that a couple of times now. Both drivers able to stabilize the vehicle. Buffalo sauce is to pizza as golden brooms are to Subaru. I like it. I like the metaphor. Now, I will say I'm not a huge buffalo sauce on pizza fan because usually it's accompanied with blue cheese. And of course, you know, I could say, hey, hold the blue cheese, but I will enjoy, I will order up the buffalo pizza if it's sans blue cheese, or if they put ranch on there too. That's the other thing. I'm not a fan of, hey, let's have buffalo sauce and ranch dressing. I'm not a big fan of that. Just give me the buffalo sauce with the chicken, with the mozzarella, and let's call it good. Audrex maybe making contact with that outer guardrail once again. Really slows him up and has Darkster throwing on the brakes early. Into that 4th turn here at the Bernese Alps Club Circuit. There they go, making sparks fly once again. I'm telling you, it's a really good battle that I only wish was played out all throughout the season. SFM Darks are unable to participate for the entirety of Season 54, but that is the beauty. That is the beauty of the Forza Spec series. Is if you're not available for the entirety of the season, no biggie. Come out here and race when you can, compete when you can. And Darkster, look at that, the old switcheroo was lining it up on the outside there of Audrex, coming down the straightaway, and then brings it back down to the inside line. The only problem there for Darkster was carrying too much speed into turn number 1, and that allowed Audrex to get back down onto the apex and retain P3, or at least get back P3. Darkster had it there just momentarily, and now as they come back up the hill, here comes Darkster, hot on the heels of Audrex. Audrex, who's made a couple of mistakes here on the downward section of the hill. Let's see if he does it again. Maybe did. It looked like he was quite slow coming down the hill, and now here they go side by side through the corner. Audrex on the inside line, or at least it looked that way, is now Darkster occupies the low line at the right-hander through the resort section. And now it looks like Darkster, by about a car and a half length lead, moves up to P3. Audrex in fourth. Enraged Barney, watching all this action play out in front of him, is there in fifth. Don't let yourself get caught up in saying things like that in the South. What, the ranch dressing? Come on now. The South doesn't care about ranch dressing that much. Ranch dressing? No. Now, if I say, give me a buffalo pizza with a tea, and if that tea is sweet tea, I'm spitting it out all over the place. Well, that would be blasphemy. But ranch dressing? A thing of the South? I don't know about that. I couldn't be more wrong, huh? Okay. I haven't spent much time living in the South, so maybe I am wrong. Buffalo sauce and ranch mixed together with the pointy part of the pizza. Nom nom nom, says Jimly. Oh, I just want the spicy. I don't want the tanginess of the ranch. I just want the spicy of the buffalo sauce. By the way, Cratrim has not at all lost sight of LS Super. Look at this battle here for first position, not getting enough love. 16 laps into our 37-lap race, at least after the last restart. Ranch is like gold to us down here. These people worship ranch. Whatever. You say so. Yeah, and of course, Subaru has all these restarts to thank for this situation that he's in right now. Subaru, prior to our most recent restart, was just, I say, miles ahead of the competition. Of course, he wasn't literally miles ahead, but he was out of reach, untouchable. Right now, Cratrim is kept up very well. And of course, for Cratrim, this can be attributed to the fact that Cratrim hasn't had to deal with the rest of the pack as much as they have on recent restarts. Whereas Cratrim was involved in, that battle from, I don't know, third on back through 6th, 7th position. Now it's just Cratrim and Subaru. Of course, there might be some back markers on the horizon here, but right now, these two are hot lapping together. Of course, just as I say that, Subaru's like, all right, watch this. Hold my koala, or whatever they got down there in Australia. I'm not entirely sure. Hold my Fosters. Rage Barney in 4th, Audrex in 5th, Chaos Fox in 6th position. Patches Riley in 7th, Celtic Warrior in 8th, NWR Onion in 9th position, Mega Chin in 10th. In the name of the cow, the prairie, and the Holy Ranch. Oh my gosh. We're going to keep the camera here. Our battle for 3rd position has waned a little bit. Darkster right now has that pretty well captured at the moment on a small, albeit racing island nonetheless. with nobody directly in front and nobody directly behind. Enraged Barney, however, in 4th, trying to ward off Audrex in 5th, Chaos Fox in 6th. Oh, some contact there. LS Subaru and the back marker. So exactly what I was just mentioning is that those two were about to come into close proximity. And much closer than just close. They were right onto each other. I don't know if Megachin just lost sight of the lead lap traffic behind him. Didn't know that there was a few Crown Vics rolling up on him or what. But fortunately for LS Subaru, despite the contact, able to stay out in front of Craytrim. That was close. These mountains are drenched in ranch, not snow. Yikes. Can you imagine the smell? That would not smell good. Now we talked about this not too long ago. And really the only thing with the ranch flavor that I enjoy are the Cool Ranch Doritos. Chaos Fox and Enraged Barney simultaneously into pit lane. Trotting Boots. I reckon you might be on to something, partner. The chat has gone a direction we have not yet ventured into before. That's okay. I'll take whatever engagement, whatever activity. Well, not whatever engagement, whatever activity. As long as we're keeping it nice and friendly, family friendly in here. I'm good with it. I'm gonna miss that aspect of streaming, that's for sure. Here comes Darkser again, taking the high line, the high line of the carousel, very much like what you would see on the banked portion of, and there goes Darkster now into pit lane, on the banked portion of the carousels at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Megachin back marker staying out there, might have already gone into pit lane. It looks like Audrex 2 is going to go ahead and duck on in. That means our race leader, Subaru and Craytrium, deciding to stay out on the track. Let's go ahead and take a look at their, oh my gosh, nearing 90% tire degradation there on the front right tire. Of course, all these left-handers. There's only what? 1, 2, 3 right-handers. The majority are left-handers, which means once they get into that left-hand corner, they're putting all that weight, all 3,000, well, not all of it, but the majority of that 3,454 pounds of vehicle curb weight onto that right front right suspension. Let's see here if next time by Subaru and Craytrium opt for a stop. It looks like Subaru is going to stay out while Craytrium head first. Oh my gosh. See, this is the other incredible thing about LS Subaru. Not only the driving technique, which is almost undefeated. Like, there have been very few circumstances in which Subaru has lost a race or not come in first. But the other element of Subaru is the impeccable tuning with which his car seems to be immune to the normal wear and tear that everybody else experiences. It's that ability to realize how your driving style impacts the car, combined with the ability to run the quickest line around the track, that is just unimaginable to me. How you can balance those two things. It seems like it would be one or the other. That you take good care of the car, and as a result, you churn out slower laps. Or you churn out quick laps, but your car, its tire grip, its fuel consumption increases. Not for Subaru. Subaru lives in a parallel universe. Well, not only does Subaru live in the future, being on the opposite side of the date line, it also seems to be in a Forza universe in which the physics are not quite the same. All right, Subaru back, out in front. Craytrim, with a fresh set of tires, has closed in on Subaru now. So Subaru's not totally immune to things here, as Craytrim's fresher setup now has allowed him to close the gap here on Subaru rather quickly. Oh, look at this. Craytrim also having to deal with Mega Chin. But, yeah, when Subaru does have to go into pit lane, that's going to make things interesting here. As far as, Craytrim, of course, would move up to the top spot. And then would Craytrim have enough tire grip for the remainder of the race to be able to defend position? Darkster up to third, Enraged Barney in fourth, Audrex in fifth. Let's go to Audrex. Bookended by Enraged Barney and Chaos Fox. 4, 5, and 6. The rise and fall of gross elasticity of ranch. Elasticity of ranch? Is it like bubblegum? Lap number 23 of 37 following a slew of restarts. This is the Season 54 finale in the Forza Spec Racing Series, featuring the 2010 Crown Victoria and their final race in Forza Motorsport 7. He meant electricity. No, elasticity. It's a microeconomics term. Oh, we're talking about the price? We're not talking about physical elasticity, but the cost of the commodity. Those of you tuned in, if you're wondering how we got on this conversation, your guess is as good as mine. I'm Dustin Moore, commentating here for the Forza Spec crew for the final time. I do appreciate you tuning in. I really do. It's been 5 years and, I don't know, somewhere around 120 total broadcasts ever since Season 24, which featured the Fiat X19. Oh, Enraged Barney into the wall, cuts across multiple lanes of traffic. Back to P6. Fortunately for Barney, did not sustain any mechanical or aerodynamic damage to the car, but instead will fall back several positions now and have to try to catch up to Chaos Fox, Audrex, and Darkser. Well, Darkser's again on that racing island, all on their own. Let's go back to Creatrim here. This has just been a crazy race. I feel like the wackiness of the Rio de Janeiro event 1 week ago has made its way into the Bernese Alps. Can't help but to think that. If you're thinking, wow, the assortment of tracks here in Season 54 really seems to have a bit of a theme to it, well, you wouldn't be wrong at all. They've been racing tracks here in Season 54 which are not going to be making an appearance in the new Forza Motorsport title, at least not at launch. There are some tracks that were run here in Season 54 that I would hope would show up in the new Forza Motorsport title, to include Sebring. Like, if Sebring never shows up in the new Forza Motorsport title, that's just wrong. But an F1 Hockenheimring, I don't know. I'm sure some people would argue that one could be sent away with, very little displeasure from the crowd. I don't know. There's probably a huge contingent of those in Germany who are like, well, gosh, we don't have the Nordschleife, at least not yet. That will be coming in the spring of 2024. But you're going to ditch the Nordschleife at launch and Hockenheimring? Well, at least the Nürburgring Grand Prix is in there. But Road Atlanta, too. Sebring and Road Atlanta omitted from the launch of Forza Motorsport. Sebring and Road Atlanta, if I am not mistaken, those are two OG tracks. From the very inception of the Forza Motorsport franchise back in 2005, I think those two have been along for the ride the entirety of the franchise's existence. In fact, Road Atlanta, for those of you who may not know, Gran Turismo, of course, had the movie that recently came out that talked about the up-and-coming of Jan Mardenborough through GT Academy. Well, Forza Motorsport had a very similar, well, I shouldn't say very similar. It was a more relaxed version of GT Academy. They're actually not even all that comparable. But early on, I think it was around the time of Forza Motorsport 2. It might have actually been like a marketing, stunt or ploy for Forza Motorsport 2. But around that time, Forza Motorsport had its own, like, turning gamers into real-world racers. Granted, those drivers I don't think were ever converted into, like bona fide racing drivers, but rather they just took them from the game and plotted them all against each other on the track. But that was the thing at one point in the Forza Motorsport series, was a real-world driving competition amongst gamers. And where I'm going with this is that Road Atlanta, I think, was maybe the location for, if not the entire series of events, or that little TV show or whatever it was. I don't even know where it would have aired. I'm not sure where it showed up. Maybe on the Speed Channel or something back then when the Speed Channel existed. But Road Atlanta was at least the location for one of the competitions. It might have been the home of the finale of that competition. Got a driver in pit lane. That's going to be 8th place of Patches Riley. So right now, the best battle out on the track is, of course, that for P1, Cratrium and LS Subaru here. And then you have to look back to 4th, which currently is occupied by Audrex, SGR Chaos Fox in 5th. Rage Barney is close, but has a bit of work to do. And then the battle for 8th, Patches Riley, who again was just into pit lane, has Celtic Warrior in P9 on their back bumper. Trot Boots in the chat says, I love seeing Crown Vics being absolute beasts because it reminds me of my dad's old car. It was a 2002 Crown Vic G8. I don't know if the Crown Vic, this was a question earlier on in the season, and I never looked it up. But I'm not sure if the Crown Vic is part of the roster for the new Forza Motorsport. Never was able to make a determination there. All right, lap number 29 coming to a head here. About to go trip the counter over to lap 30 of 37. We will not be racing to the end of lap 38, but rather the end of lap 37. And that will do it for the Forza Spec Racing Series in Forza Motorsport 7. It'll do it for Season 54, in which LS Subaru already has the points to become the series champion. And sadly, it also marks the end of my time with the Forza Spec Racing Series crew. So, if you're watching, and whether you've been lurking or if you've been participating in the chat here over the last hour and a half, hour and 47 minutes or so, if you'd like to say, hey, Dustin, I started watching your broadcasts of FM4 back in this season, whatever that season number is, you want to throw it in the chat there, by all means go for it. Like I said, I started commentating for FM4 back in 2018, almost 5 years ago, exactly. It was October 30th, 2018, Season 24, the Fiat X19 was the car of choice that season. Fun times. So much fun. But sadly, with no spectate option available at launch of the new Forza Motorsport, I have decided to hang it up. You started watching my broadcast back in Season 53. I know, and that's the thing that pains me the most, right? Is that we have had some folks join the broadcast as of late: Slottles, Trot and Boots, Silver, Alethea, and others. I have had pretty great support. Sporadically over the last 5 years. But sadly, without a spectate mode in the new Forza Motorsport, my aspirations, these goals that I had established to see some growth in the channel, it's just not going to be possible. And it really took the wind out of my sails. For those of you who have been watching this channel all throughout 2023, you guys have undoubtedly heard how excited I was with for the new Forza Motorsport title and what I thought that could mean for my channel. And man, Was I surprised when Turntade Studios said that the spectate feature was not going to be at launch with the new Forza. I mean, I had opportunities to sit down virtually with the developers of Forza Motorsport, talk about what, for me as an event organizer and as a broadcaster, what aspects of the game are absolutely crucial. And so to see that there was no spectate feature coming out at launch was just, it was a gut punch. Big J, when spectate mode comes back, will you come back? It's not going to happen. I'm not going to be. I am not going to be doing the. I'm not going to be doing the Forza Motorsport grind without having the knowledge of if and when the ability for me to spectate and broadcast is going to come back. That's the thing, is I don't know that it'll ever be a thing. I mean, I have to believe it will, but I suppose there's no certainty in that, right? Forza Comp GG says season 39 with the MX-5. There you go. That was a good season. Yeah, the MX-5s. That was a lot of fun. I think a lot of Forza Spec racers and viewers of that time will say that the Aston Martin V8 Vantage season, I'm trying to remember which season number that was, but that season was probably the most competitive. I think we had a full lobby for a few of the races. I think that season was just incredible, very memorable. And here's the beauty, folks, is that if you want to go back and relive, I'm not suggesting that anybody wants to do this, but if you want to, I have put most of the broadcasts that I've done here of FM4. There are a few that escaped. There are a few times where I was unable to be there if I was out on vacation or whatever the case may be. So there are a few episodes that are missing, or there are a few holes in the entirety of a single season. But if I had to guess, it's probably fewer than 10 that are missing from the archives there. But you can go back to my YouTube channel. The link is posted there in the chat, care of Nightbot, and you can check those seasons out. You can go all the way back to season 24 and see what it was like for me starting out with FM4. Was it better? Was it worse? I don't know. I don't care. All I could say is that it's been a very enjoyable 5 years. Again, I only wish could have had a greater impact in terms of the number of Forza community members. That I wish was true. Can you also put the Killer Frequency stream on there as a mulligan? No, I can't. That one's gone. That one's a goner. Watching Enraged Barney here in 6th position, trying to catch up with SGR Chaos Fox in 5th. Audrex is in 4th. Darkser is in 3rd. But really, again, Cratrium doing a remarkable job keeping up with Subaru. Oh, and a little bit of a mistake there by LS Subaru here on lap number 35. As they head back down the hill, Subaru still has the advantage, but now here comes Cratrium to the inside. It is the two winningest drivers of the Forza Spec Racing Series neck and neck here on the final laps of the Season 54 finale. And while Subaru has the championship firmly within grasp, Cratrium's trying to come in and be the spoiler here on race 9. and prevent the 9-race sweep that Subaru is going for here. It would be Subaru's second season in which he has won all 9 races if Subaru's able to come across the line in first here in 2 laps time. I don't like change. Big J Bish, you and me both, especially when that change means that the thing that I love, the thing that I truly enjoy doing, a little bit of contact there as Cratrim gets onto the rear quarter panel of LS Subaru into turn number 1. No harm, no foul. They'll carry on. Lap number 36. Next time by the flag stand will be the white flag. Soldrum. Did they even have Crown Vics in Australia? If they did, I'm sure they were all converted to Utes. Just chop the back 2 seats out and just throw a truck bed back there. Hello, Soldrum. Thanks for chirping in on the chat there. Big J Bishop saying, nope, Ford Falcons. Something similar would probably be a Ford Falcon or Fairlane, says Trotting Boots. Yep. Here they come up to the start-finish line for what is going to be the final lap here. Season 54, race number 9, in which LS Subaru has already claimed the championship. But again, Cratrim trying to play spoiler here and get a win. Subaru Cratrim single file formation over the curbing with just 4 corners remaining here as they head back up the hill here at the Bernese Alps for the final time. And the last race in Forza Motorsport 7. For the S's. Subaru in really good position at this point. They come through the carousel. It's going to be Subaru out in front. 9 consecutive wins here in Season 54. He does it again, followed by Cratrim making a return, if even just a brief appearance. Cratrim, formerly known as C-Tom, going to pick up 2nd, followed by Darkser. Darkser making it up to 3rd position. Odds in 4th. It's like Chaos Fox in 5th, Enraged Barney in 6th position. And that'll be followed by NWR Onion with Too Many Eyes in 7th, Patches Riley in 8th, Celtic Warrior in 9th, Megachen in 10th. Unfortunately, 10 of the, I believe we had 12 earlier. I think after the restart, we've only had 11 now out on the track, but we did have 12. Oh, no, we did. Fear the Fallen and Modern Weapon, unfortunately, getting the DNFs here early on. What was that? Darkser, followed by Audrex, Chaos Fox, Enraged, Barney, sorry folks, taking note here of the finishing order. Celtic in 8th, Patches in 9th, and Mega Chin in 10th position. There we go. I'm exhausted from just trying to keep up. Yeah, that was it wasn't my better broadcasted events here on the stream. I'll say that, but it was definitely a decent finale. It's unfortunate we had so many restarts. I would have loved to have seen how the pit strategy would come to play with 65 consecutive laps without a necessary restart. But alas, that's how things go from time to time here. All in all, a pretty good race there to close things out here in season 54. And man, I only wish we had Cratrium for a lot more of these races. That was a very, very strong showing there by CTOM, who prior to LS Subaru's entry into FM4, CTOM was the most dominant driver of the lot here in FM4 history. Welcome back into the broadcast booth. We're going to forgo the intermission that usually comes at the end of the race here, where I normally catch my breath and get a chance to recoup myself before we go into the driver's spotlight interviews. But no need to do that here. Final broadcast of FM4 here on X Adventure, sadly. And Trotting Boots over there chanting, driver spotlight, driver. It doesn't roll off the tongue as a chant very well, but I get what you're saying there, Trotting. We'll get our drivers in here in just a moment. But yeah, there you go, folks. Closing the book on what was a fun, I guess, a social experiment of sorts, in which here on Tuesdays for the last 5 years, I've jumped into Forza Motorsport 7, hit the spectate button, and we've watched the racing pan out for more than 115 broadcasts. I don't know what the total number is, again, because some of the broadcasts have been lost to the Ethernet the ether of the internet, the ether of the internet. But yeah, somewhere over 115 broadcasts, 25 seasons. So almost half as many seasons as the Forza Spec Racing Series has have put on, and some good ones too, like some really, really competitive seasons. Some seasons, those that have been those that have included LS Subaru, maybe not as competitive as we hope, but hey, I think that's definitely the invitation to those of you who are getting ready. You're gearing up for the new Forza Motorsport. You want to put your skills to the test. Perhaps you think, yeah, Subaru, I can keep up with that. I've seen the times that Subaru is putting down. I can give Subaru a run for his money. Well, with the new Forza Motorsport, eventually they will make that transition. They do have to give all the drivers an opportunity to get into the game, get some of those car level. Gosh, that's the most difficult thing, I think, for race organizers, whether you're the Forza Spec Racing Series or if you're Tora, the online racing association that's a big part of the Forza Motorsport community. That's the big challenge that has to be overcome early on in the transition into the new Forza Motorsport, is that drivers have to build up their vehicle level. It's a new thing that's coming. It's not necessarily new. We've seen vehicle levels, manufacturer levels in Forza Motorsport in the past, but never have they prevented you from upgrading your vehicle. This new Forza Motorsport has vehicle upgrades locked behind vehicle levels, which is an interesting decision, and it makes it that much more difficult for organizers to set up races, just depending on how well along their drivers are in the game. It's crazy. It's great. It's a different decision. It's a decision that kind of threw me off, much like the no spectate mode. But hey, I suppose after so many years, after nearly 20 years of the Forza franchise, I suppose they had to do something different, and this is what they've come up with. So we'll see how well it goes. Let's go ahead and turn on over to the driver's spotlight to somebody who's probably been occupying the queue. I'm sure you've been in there a bit. Fear the Fun, just kind of chilling.
Just shortly.
What's that?
I've only been in there shortly. You're good.
Only been in there shortly. Okay, fine. Man, not the way that you wanted to see things end here in Forza Motorsport 7, but I'm guessing maybe the Bernese Alps was one of those tracks that just doesn't play well with your hardware.
It was, man. It always has, or hasn't always been, but has been for the last few years. And, it's a good riddance of, Bernese Alps and, Forza 7. Looking forward to the new game. So.
I still, man, I'm not throwing it into the face of the organizers of FM4. Not at all. No, absolutely not. But, man, the Bernese Alps, yeah, there was obviously the disconnect issues that you and maybe a couple other drivers had, or maybe it was just because of the ongoing issues with having crashes in the game that had them voluntarily jumping out of the lobby. Whichever the case may be, it was just kind of an odd start to the finale versus what we saw back on race 6 out at the Top Gear test track. If we could flip-flop those two, I would have done that in a split second, because that was a lot of fun. But I guess I can't be too hard on the organizers here, because you guys have been doing this for like 10 years, and so my input is probably
if you really want to
contribute much.
If you really want to know why they chose it, it's because it was the last track that we hadn't run as an endurance.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we've got to run this as the endurance for this. Don't worry, I hate this track as much as everybody else hated this track, but they're like, we have to run it as the endurance. And I was like, no. And you know what? They just didn't listen to me, and that's how we got here.
Yeah, and I almost think that you guys could have done a pretty quick mutiny and takeover of things. You and I'll throw Modern Weapon into the mix. Like, with Soul Motion Fire having to be out for the last 2 weeks, like, surely some executive decisions could have been made.
No. Modern and Slow are like, they're twins almost. They think same, they do the same. It doesn't matter what any of the other mods say. It's what Modern and Slow say. Yeah. So if I was hosting this lobby tonight, you might have switched things around a little bit. Not really, because I do respect them as the people who own and run this thing. But I mean, it's definitely not my first choice to be an enduro, and though I don't have the want to fill out an entire sheet that says, hey, we've done every track as an enduro at least once, I get why they did it.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, yeah, and there is absolutely, for all the joking that I'm putting out there, I think there's something to be said that have a league, a community-run league that operates as long as FM4 has, for 10 years. There's obviously a lot of just, everybody respecting the decisions of how things operate and sticking to that plan so as not to like throw too many wrenches at the drivers, because the last thing you want to do in a community league where you've got people who are investing their time in participating in these races is like switch things up on them that, you really don't need to. So another reason that if you're looking for a league that just has its stuff together and going into the new Forza Motorsport, you can reliably participate in these races knowing that the drivers are all mindful of each other, that no matter how good or how bad of a race they have going, everybody respecting each other out on the track is a big part of how this thing carries on race after race, having that racer integrity in that respect and just general, sportsmanship out there. FM4 is the place for you. Reddit.com/r/FM4. I know Nightbot had the link in there just a moment ago, but there it is again. So Slow Motion Fire, for Fear the Fun, going into the new Forza Motorsport, how long, for anybody who's interested, how long do you guys think there will be of a grace period, I guess you want to call it, before things get going for season 55?
Honestly, I don't know. We haven't really talked about it a whole bunch.
NWR aka Mr. Fear Sucks said hello.
What the heck is that?
I don't know. That's not me. I don't understand.
It must have been you.
It wasn't me. I swear to God.
I don't know what that was.
I haven't touched anything.
That was really weird.
It said Fear Sucks. No. But man, I lost my train of thought.
I did too. I don't even know where that came from.
I don't like that. um uh, I'm trying to remember. It was something about the new game, something about getting
Yeah,
man.
how long it'll take you all to transition and when
Okay,
the
yeah.
new season will get going.
We haven't really talked about it as much. I think we're all just trying to get there. We all have the same issue. Like the reason why you're coming back is the same reason why we're having a little bit of an issue with what we're doing. We are transferring to the new game, but we don't know how long it's going to take or what the car is going to be or this or that. We don't know, and we're waiting until we get into the game.
Yeah.
I know that we're probably going to have a couple weeks where like we might have like Tuesday nights like we're doing now where we might just race around and get some credits and cars and stuff built up. But I don't know that we have anything rock steady at the moment. And it's been kind of hard to communicate that too, because usually we'll have someone like Slow who kind of organizes that, but he's been harvesting beans and wheat for the past week and a half, 2 weeks, which is why he's not here last week or this week. Don't worry, I tried to guilt him in here because it's your last stream and all, but he was very much like, hey, this is like my money maker.
Yeah.
And I need to do this, so I understand. Doesn't mean I didn't try to guilt him. But there is going to be an FM4 when it comes to the next game. It might take a month. It might take 2 weeks. We just got to figure it out what we're doing.
Yeah. Maybe it's something where you guys, I'm sure like most racing games, Forza Motorsport's going to give you like the option of 3 vehicles at the intro. And maybe it's just using one of those 3, knowing that everybody's at least had their hands on one of them. I don't know. Something like that. Who knows?
Yeah, that's what Kuda suggested, is that we could use one of the 3 starter cars, which is perfectly fine with me.
Yeah. Yeah, and completely understand. I think that's the other great thing about FM4. You guys, if you can't tell that I'm an advocate, and I will always be a staunch advocate for FM4, the ability to, if you've got real world priorities taking place, it's completely understandable. It's not going to disqualify you from participating in the future. You taking care of business outside of the video game realm is definitely encouraged. So obviously, Slow Motion Fire. Having to take care of stuff on the job front, and already had sent me a nice message thanking me for my involvement in FM4. So if you're like, oh gosh, I don't want to join and then like not be available, don't worry about that. Get involved, race as much as you can. Those times that you have to be away, no biggie. They'll have other drivers that are ready to step in, and then once you're able to come back, then cool, no biggie. All right. Yeah. Gosh, I'm trying to think of what else there is to say. Now that we've wrapped up season 54, it's the final race of Forza Motorsport 7 for you all. What if you can look back, at least from what you can recall, which vehicle do you think, oh gosh, that like epitomizes the time that we had in Forza Motorsport 7? That was the vehicle that for me was the most fun in FM4.
It's gotta be like the Datsun 510, man.
Oh yeah.
It was you weren't here for it, and I know that it was in the teens, I'm pretty sure. I'm not completely positive. But I don't know, we just had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a cool car. It was very well. I think our skill gap was a lot closer because we weren't all like trying and whatnot. It was very fun. If there's a close one second, I think it would be your second season with the Fiat X19. I love that car for some reason. It was slow, but it was fun. It was quick. Like it took a little bit of skill, a little pizzazz, if you want to sprinkle on some of that. It was very nice.
The Fiat X19 is not only because it was my first season with y'all, season 24, but I also believe it was the season in which the FM4 meme about T-Phrase being a big-time tooth guy. I think that happened right there in the first season that I was commentating.
It might have. It very well might have.
Big-time tooth guy. You guys have an emote for it in the Discord. When T-Phrase was able to race a little bit here in season 54, he had that on as his livery. It was great. It was perfect.
Yeah, he was Oral B.
All right. Yeah, Oral B. That's right. Shout out there to Oral-B, whoever. I don't know if that's a Johnson & Johnson product or what, but there you go.
It might be. It might be a drug.
Fear the Fun. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that. Like, I think you were probably the most active driver in the driver spotlight here. Anytime that I had opened up the Discord here for interviews, you're quick to jump in. No regrets, as the Snickers commercial says, I guess.
No regrets, man. I've enjoyed your company here. I wish you were staying. I understand, like, you have your convictions and the things you believe in and the stuff you want to do with your life, and I get it. I don't like it.
There's no conviction. There's no the things I believe in. There's no spectate mode. I can't help that.
It doesn't mean you can't come race with us. You can still be a part of us.
I'm not.
I know you're not going to. I know you've made this very clear.
Yeah.
But I want you to know that there is always going to be room for a Dustin stream, or for a Dustin just as a person who's racing with us. We invite you. We want you to stay around. We don't want you to leave, but obviously you have your own things and things you want to do.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you, like, hey, no, you can't leave. That's not the kind of person I am. I understand it. I don't like it, but I understand it.
Yeah.
So I need you to understand that when a spectate comes back, because I'm pretty sure there is, I think they're just trying to figure it out, and I get it, because they are missing some tracks that are key, like they're missing Sebring, they're missing Daytona, they're missing Road Atlanta, and they're missing the Nürburgring, and these are all endurance tracks, which this next game is supposed to be more motorsport focused, so I would expect those to be coming. And I think they also understand that there are people like you, like Tora, like us, that they broadcast their game. And I think they're trying to find a better way to figure it out, because the way they said it is they don't want the spectate mode to be taking up a player spot, which I don't care about. I thought it would have been perfectly fine with us, but I know they've also been having problems, like the same thing, like they're having problems getting like split screen, and it's mostly because of the Series S. So I don't know if that's connected or whatnot, but I want you to know, if you do decide to come stream, or if you just come to decide to race, you are always going to be welcome with us. We're not going to be like, oh, you should stream or you should commentate. Absolutely not. We want you we like you as a person, and we want you to be around with us, even if it's not doing in this form again.
Yeah. No, I do appreciate that. I'm very rarely one to say that, I'm closing the door on a chapter forever. Like, nothing is possible from this point on. It's just gonna be very hard for me. Like, if they do eventually bring in the feature to like jump in and grind through the game to be able to possibly be able to, do a lot of the things that I used to like to do. I haven't done it as of late. Like the whole, I'm going to tune up the car, test it out myself. That way I can bring that knowledge to the broadcast. I've kind of put that off to the side for a while, just because it was, as long as Forza Motorsport's been around, it became less of an appetizing thing for me to do. And instead I just jumped in here and broadcasted. But, moving forward, I don't know. I think that grind is behind me, but I'll never say with certainty that everything is done for forever, but at least indefinitely, I see it not happening.
You know what? You say that, and I want to point out something that they did with Forza 7. And I'm not saying they made the same mistakes, but they have made a few mistakes with Forza 7. And at the early game, they didn't have spectate, and they also they had a bunch of cars that were locked behind levels.
Yeah.
And within 6 months, because it came out in October of 2017, I think, and by July of 2018, they took out the locked cars and they had spectate. So in 6-ish months, 6 to 9 months, they reverted all that. Yeah. And there's a very vocal majority of the community who's like, we need spectate, and we don't like the car leveling. So
we're a sliver of the community, but I understand. Yeah, I get it.
It's not just us. Like, if you go onto the Reddit Discord, or the Forza not Discord, the Reddit, there a lot of their posts lately have been that they don't like this. And if you go into like the big YouTubers, they don't like the car leveling system either. They also don't like there's not a spectate. So I think it will come back. I think they're just trying to figure it out, or maybe it's very possible, even though the game's been in development for however many years, that they just haven't fully developed it, which makes sense because, like they said, we already know the Nürburgring's coming, but it's not in the game starting off.
Yep.
So,
okay. Well, I certainly won't be like shunning out and blocking from view whatever's happening in the esports world of Forza Motorsport. I'm always still curious. I don't know that really changes my position in terms of what level of involvement I have moving forward, but nonetheless, I hope maybe somebody is able to step in and make plans to stream, whether it's just from their own perspective, their participation in FM4, because I think even that would be cool, whether it's you, Fear, or somebody else being able to say, hey, I'm showing the race, granted it's from your view, but it'll be the race nonetheless.
Can't replace the best in the business, does
well,
it? Can't replace the best in the business.
I'm sure there'll be somebody willing to give it a very good shot. So
willing, yes, but able, absolutely not.
I'll see. All right, Fear. Well, what shout outs you got for us here tonight as we close up a chapter of FM4 in FM7?
I just want to thank you, man. You've been here 5 years, I think it is.
5 years, yeah.
And I mean, you've had your own things going on. You've had to miss a couple seasons, but you've been here steady and you haven't complained. You haven't moaned, groaned, or anything. And
I don't know. The tapes might prove otherwise, but go ahead.
No, it's been fun. I've enjoyed it very much. I hope that we do see you back, even if you don't think it might happen. That's fine, but I still believe. I hold out hope. I hold out hope that the show Mindhunters comes back, but that's absolutely indefinitely canceled at this point. But it doesn't mean I don't want it to come back, and it doesn't mean I don't want you to come back. I want you to come back if it hasn't been made very clear already.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I hear it all loud and clear for sure. I'm not letting that go through one ear and out the other. So I do appreciate that, and of course, like I said, you've always been willing and ready to jump into the queue here for the interviews, even when everybody else has either been too shy or just not up to it. Instead of leaving me in my own awkward silence, you've hopped into here, and so I've always been.
NWR Unio and
gosh,
aka
here we go
Mr.
again.
Fear sucks.
It's not me.
Said Fear, stop talking.
Stop talking.
I don't know how that's. I don't even know how that's happening, but
I don't know. I hear it too.
I think it might be through my just through the regular FM4 Discord or something, which is a weird feature, especially since I'm in streamer mode. I feel like Discord, if I'm in streamer mode, would not have that happening, but I don't know.
If I keep talking longer, the Discord will keep getting madder and madder at me, and I think that's a good thing.
All right, well, let's not experiment with that notion, and instead I'll say Fear the Fun. Thank you so much for I think the entertainment that you've provided our viewers with these interviews, and my very best to you, not only in your FM4 adventures moving forward, but in all things life. My very best to you.
Yep, same to you, man. See you later.
Thank you very much. All right, let's go ahead and bring into the end of the driver spotlight now Enraged Barney. Barney, you were second overall on the leaderboard heading into the finale here for season 54. You were jockeying for position from as far up as I think third position now to where you finished in sixth. Pretty crazy race from the pack that was third, P3 through P6. And unfortunately, you just weren't able to jump back up a few spots there at the checkered flag.
Yeah, it was a good race. I think we all agreed that it was a long time where all four of us were just switching positions.
Yeah.
And no one was making any big crashes or big wrecks. It was just all clean racing throughout that first part of the race until Darkster finally shot off into the distance. But yeah, I think all four of us definitely enjoyed the race.
Let's talk about those restarts. We had quite a few of them. I think one of them was obviously just a very quick restart, so maybe 4 in total. What did that mean for you in terms of where you were versus where the grid reconvened, regrouped, and now again you're finding yourself amongst 11 other drivers having to fight for your spot again?
Well, the first restart I think definitely saved me because I got caught up in the aftermath of that crash where Celtic had been stopped on the outside of the track,
Yeah.
and I just happened to run wide right where he was. I didn't have time to avoid him, so that totaled my car. But luckily, with the restart, I was able to come back, and that second restart got me closer to the pack ahead. But the third restart it didn't really change anything. I started sixth, and I started sixth the last restart, and I was still sixth on that third restart. So I think it affected me a lot at the beginning, but towards the end, I think it just at that point there was so many restarts where nothing really changed. So
yeah, I actually we saw that, or we had the camera on you, and then I was getting ready to move to whoever was out in front of you in the field, but just as I clicked that change camera button, we saw the collision with you, Celtic, which then resulted in the or shortly thereafter came the restart. But I was kind of curious, like if we had been still looking at doing all 65 laps consecutively, you going into pit lane that early, I was kind of curious if that would actually have a negative effect on you for the entirety of the race, or if that could possibly have been somewhat of a benefit. I don't know. How did you see it? You had gone into pit lane, and then as you came out, that's when the restart happened.
yeah, I think it was too early in the race for that to have been a decent time to stop.
Okay.
I think at that point I still would have had maybe like two, maybe three pit stops left
Wow.
by then because this car really eats through the tires, especially when you if you get any slides, it really burns them. So I think at that point it would have been way too early to use it as like a strategy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, talking with Enraged Barney here in the driver's spotlight, finishing sixth position. Depending on your drop week here in season 54, that could keep you in P2 on the overall leaderboard. I'm not sure if maybe somebody has done the calculation in terms of points, but I'm guessing you'll either be P2 or maybe on the fringe of the top three.
I think I kept P2. The third, I think third at the time is Slip.
Yep.
And since he wasn't here, he's not going to gain any points on me.
Right.
And fourth was Audrex. And he, even though he gained, I think 7 points on me this race, I think overall, I think I'm still slightly ahead.
Yeah, you came into this finale with a 10-point advantage over Audrex. So if that is the case where Audrex picked up 7, then that keeps you in P2 behind LS Subaru. Not a bad finish for closing out FM4's fun in Forza Motorsport 7, huh?
Yeah, I think if I'm correct, that's my best finish in the championship so far. I think so. I think I've been up to fourth or third, but never second. So
okay,
definitely happy to see that.
Yeah, I mean, anytime that you got Audrex in the field, which Audrex is probably, apart from LS Subaru over the last several seasons, a couple of handful of seasons for LS Subaru, Audrex has been one of those drivers that is consistently on the track and consistently within the top 3, if not top 5. So for you able to best Audrex here in season 54, that's a heck of an accomplishment.
Yeah, I mean, Audrex is definitely one of the drivers that most worried me. I think he just had some bad luck in some races, like Sebring, for example. I know I think he got spun after an incident where he got sandwiched by me and Fear. So he had the ability to be second, but just with the bad luck, I think he just got the short straw.
Yeah. Yep. Well, that happens from season to season. The great thing is as the FM4 crew starts anew, all those points get wiped, and it's a new vehicle, new set of upgrades, new schedule of tracks and assortment of tracks, and you get to do it all again. So even if you have a great season, but maybe not as good as you had hoped, or maybe if you have a poor season, there's always a new one to look forward to, another slate of 9 races to look forward to. And assuming that the format doesn't change, 5 weeks, 5 Tuesdays, 9 races in total for about 2 hours each evening is what you could look forward to if you want to be a part of FM4. Barney, what's your excitement level for the new Forza title? Are you going to be there at launch, leveling up cars and everything else that Turn 10 is going to require to progress in the game?
I've already pre-ordered the game.
Yeah.
I have the Ultimate Edition, so I'll
There
get
you
it
go.
5 days early. But
Yeah, a little head start.
excitement's not really the word I describe it. I think it's more of a hope.
Yeah.
I'm
A little
hoping it'll be a good
skepticism.
game. Yeah,
Okay.
it's as much as there's been plenty of improvements like physics wise and stuff. I think some of the mechanics like the leveling and all that, and not having spectating mode. That's all what's worrying me, is that we're going to
Yeah.
get another FM7 situation where it's going to be terrible off the start, then everyone will drop the game, then Turn 10 will fix it a little bit, and then they'll drop the game, and it'll just be FM7 all over again.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we'll see. Like I said, I'm not going to be completely like blind to what's going on. I still have a curiosity. You can't take away the curiosity that I have about the Forza franchise. I've been a part of it for the nearly 20 years that it's been around. So I'm always interested in seeing what's going on, just like I have kept eyes on the Gran Turismo series. So that will never waver from me. But yeah, it'll be interesting and seeing how drivers get on and how community-based leagues like Tora and FM4 and many others are able to proceed with that new title looking ahead. Barney, I think I share the same sentiment with you as I did with Fear the Fun, in that, you know, you've always been willing, able, and happy to jump into the driver's spotlight here and not leave me hanging, sharing your perspective, your advice, your take on how things have gone out on the track, both in retrospective and as a preview to what was to come. So I'm very appreciative of that. And I guess I ask you, what shout outs do you have here as season 54 has come to a close?
Well, as per usual, I'll shout out Boots and Slottles, as they are real life friends. And you know what? Shout out to you, Dustin. You've been there every week for at least as long as I've been here, other than maybe like 1 or 2 seasons. But I mean, as much as fun as it is racing with everyone on track,
Yeah.
I think it's just as fun to give you and the audience a show. And without you there, I think it'll be just like a hole in our heart. We'll be missing something.
Yeah, it'll be a hole for me too. I wish it didn't have to be that way, but it is what it is. You know, what I can say that you have taken probably more seriously than most is the fact that I've said, hey, if you're a racer, if you're a participant here in FM4, invite your friends, invite your family, invite your Forza foes, those who maybe you don't get along with out on the track, and say, hey, come watch me race, come see how I do. For those that want to root you on and cheer you on, certainly I think you probably have taken the cake in having the largest fan base here in the pit lane, the chat as I've called it, I've called it the pit lane, but the Twitch chat. And so kudos to you for like being able to rally the troops and getting to show up in the chat and cheering you on. It's been fun to have folks in there who obviously have a favorite and are rooting for you the entire way through.
Yeah, I think slightly it might have been what helped me this season get P2 is having people to support me and cheer me on throughout the race. Unlike Onion, Onion's just a hater.
I feel like Onion is maybe responsible for the text to voice that I've oddly been hearing here in the Discord.
I think it is Onion because every time I hear it too, it says AKA Mr. Fear Sucks, and that's Onion's nickname. So I think Onion. I don't know what he did, but he did something to break Discord.
This is how the end of the broadcast goes. Is that I get weird anomalies of audio coming through at the conclusion of the event. Oh well.
You're just getting haunted by Onion's ghost.
Just
That's
getting haunted.
NWR Onio aka Mr. Fear Sucks.
Okay, well I think that
Said
confirms
it wasn't me, I promise.
I think that confirms it.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, Trotting Boots says there in the chat, we love you, Barney. Slottle says, go, Barney. Barney, again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but just as I told Fear the Fun, my very best to you in what awaits for Forza Motorsport and the Forza Spec Racing Series, but I think more importantly, in your everyday life and everything you got going on. My very best to you, and nothing but absolute appreciation and memories to take away in our conversations here in FM4.
And I wish you the best of luck, Dustin, with the rest of your journey you'll be
Thank
going
you.
on.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and bring in another driver here to the driver spotlight. None other than LS Subaru, who has just taken hold of the winnings here in Forza Motorsport. If the Forza Spec Racing Series, if they had prize winnings, if there was a monetary purse to be won here in FM4, LS Subaru, you'd be a very wealthy driver.
Yeah, it's a good way to end the last season that'll be broadcasted with another Golden Broom, eh?
Yeah, with another Golden Broom, great mention. I totally have allowed that to leave my mind, in that this is the second time now in the Forza Spec Racing Series that you've got an entire season in winning every single race, a total of 500 season points, 400 championship points. Well done in that. I have to ask you, because even though you've had such a commanding takeover and have won so many seasons consecutively here in FM4, seeing Cratrium return, who was previously, prior to your just takeover of FM4, Cratrium was the winningest driver of the series. To have Cratrium show up here, season 54, final race of the season, and just give you as close of a race as we've seen in a while here in these last few laps of Bernese Alps. As a competitor, you probably enjoy that, right?
Yeah, it was super fun racing with Cratrium for that whole time. Yeah, it was also really good to see that he's back and hopefully going to be racing again in future seasons. It was definitely a fun time to be so close to each other for such a long time in that race. And yeah, it definitely helped push me a little bit harder.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think I saw a photo that Cratrium had posted in the FM4 Discord of a brand new Xbox he had purchased, and basically was announcing their return to FM4. So it's always cool to see like new faces, new Xbox gamer tags joining FM4, but it's just as cool, if not maybe a little bit more cooler, to see somebody with FM4 history and a racer with so many victories to their name return to FM4, and of course give you a run for your money. You get a little bit of time off here between this and season 55, which I suspect you'll be looking forward to. Yeah, like Fear the Fun has said, there's got to be a little bit of a period here to which everybody can transition into the new game, build up their cars, build up their vehicles, stat level or vehicle level, manufacturer level, whatever they call it. You as the champion, is there a particular vehicle on the new Forza Motorsport roster that you're eyeing, so that if Slow Motion Fire says, yeah, you've got the choice here, Subaru, is there one that stands out as like the clear-cut winner right now?
Yeah, there is one car that I've seen so far that I definitely have my eye on.
So go ahead and describe that vehicle.
Well, it's got an engine. I think it has like 4 wheels.
4 wheels. Not including the steering wheel.
Yeah. I mean, it gets sold. It's a real car.
It's a real car. Okay. All
right. Yeah.
Very, very descriptive. Yeah, as Subaru normally does, not going to reveal the hand, and probably at the preference of the FM4 organizers, so as not to give away too much about what the first season of the new title might hold. So If you're curious about what direction FM4 is going, either from Subaru's choice or if it's just by default what FM4 organizers decide is the best car to use that everybody can quickly access in the game, if you wanna know what that's going to be, then like I said, be a part of the community over at reddit.com/r/fm4. Subaru, I couldn't have imagined whatever it was 12, 13, 11 seasons ago that you would come in and be such a dominant fixture of the league. But I think what is most remarkable is that no matter how well you've done and how much you've taken away in terms of the victories and the championships, like you've clearly have not put people off. So I think that speaks volumes to like your personality here in FM4, and that you've been humble. You've not let the number of victories put people off, and so I think I have to say thanks for doing that, because I think it could have been very easy for somebody to come in here, get the bragging rights, and take that quite literally, and just kind of push everybody away. It's quite the contrary. I think more people have shown up and at least said, "Hey, okay, I see what Subaru is doing. Let me see how far off I am from Subaru," which has been fun to watch.
Yeah, well, I think that would kind of defeat the purpose of what FM4 is. The end of the day, it's a series where fun is prioritized over competition, and yeah, like as you've said time and time again, it doesn't really matter what where you are in terms of skill. It's just a matter of getting along with everyone else that's racing, and as long as you're racing clean and fair, that's all that matters. And yeah, seeing all the people that are joining in, and also at least giving it a try and seeing how they what they think of it and all that, and it's good to see. And I'm hoping that for the next season, and well, for the next game, and with the months and potentially years to come, that we see a lot more people showing up and enjoying themselves.
Yeah, here. I mean, the one season that I participated in is a box that I could tick and say, hey, I was there as a racer in FM4 for one entire season. It surely showed me the trials, the tribulations, the fun, the ups and the downs of community-based racing. You're going to have days that just nothing is going right. Well, of course, I say this with LS Subaru on the line here, who has a lot of things go right. But for the majority of us, it's all about, if you have a crappy performance one week, picking that controller back up the next week and giving it another go, and not getting too defeated by how badly you perform, or in some weeks how well you perform. Like, even if you do exceedingly well one week, keeping that up is pretty tricky to do, especially in organized community-based racing. So join Subaru and the FM4 crew whenever they get going, and see how well you can perform. And if it's not great at the beginning, just keep trying, and I promise you're going to see the results pay off. Subaru, what shout outs do you got here for us tonight as FM4 is wrapped up?
Same people as always, shout out to my team. Like my team is all, it's they're the ones that gave me the opportunity to race in these sorts of leagues, and open my eyes up to this sort of this competitive racing.
Yeah.
Shout out to Slow Motion 5 for making the liveries. He always does a great job with that.
Yeah, he does.
And shout out to all the people over at FM4, not only just like the organizers and the moderators, but also just everyone who shows up and races and continues to show up for every week. It's they're the people that keep this series going, and it's good to see that.
Indeed, that they do, and you certainly have been a part of that over the last like I said, 10, 11, 12, 13 seasons. So thanks for being a part of that, making it memorable here, as much as you've hoisted the trophy, the proverbial and yet virtual trophy here in FM4. Being able to talk with you, glean some insight from you in terms of how you got the vehicle set up and your driving style and all that. It's all been very informational, educational, and it's been. You've got your own personality, you got your own approach to it, which is something I've always very much appreciated. So thanks again to you, much like Fear and Barney, for not hesitating to come in here and have a word with me. And my best to you in FM4 and in everything on the other side of the date line there in Australia.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. And what's the outro today?
Lay-lays.
Thank you very much, Subaru. All right. Bringing in now SFM Darkster. SFM Darkster, not able to participate for the entirety of the season, but you were able to finish in third. You were part of that crazy gaggle of cars from like third on back to sixth. So you were all over, but not all over the place. I think that's maybe a little bit of a poor description of your driving out there.
No, I was all over the place.
Oh, fair enough then. I'll go ahead and I'll stick to my original description then. But yeah, you were able to best Audrex, which is not easy to do. Chaos Fox, Enraged Barney, even Fear the Fun there for a while, despite the several disconnects. But it's pretty incredible. You're able to jump in here kind of on a whim and do that well.
Yeah, I was not sure what to expect coming into tonight. I actually didn't even know it was your last Forza stream, so once I heard that, I definitely had to make an appearance here. But that was honestly one of the best battles that I have ever had. And the whole time I was just picturing that scene in Gladiator where Marcus Aurelius is in the stadium, basically taunting the crowd, like, "Are you not entertained? Is this not why you're here?" Because we were just laying it all out there. That was just, that was so much fun. I've never had so much fun not winning a race.
Yeah, I feel like everybody has to go ahead and accept that. Like when you get Subaru in the lobby, you're like, man, if I could just get second or third or top fifth even, I would be pretty happy with that. But no, I think a lot of the gratification of a community league is like you're gonna find those drivers who you compete closely with, and if you come out with the leg up on the larger assortment of those drivers, like finishing third, there were only two that were out in front of you. That's pretty exciting stuff. So yeah, well done here tonight, and certainly if FM4 is in your future here with the new Forza Motorsport title, hopefully you're able to keep that momentum going. But do tell us, you've been a part of the Online Racing Association, FM4. I think I've certainly seen you in other areas of the Forza community. So are you looking forward to that transition to the new title?
I mean, I'm going to be completely honest with you. We're both, as a competitor, I'm excited to see what the different leagues are going to come up with and how they're going to handle the different mechanics, both looked forward to and not, see how that turns out.
Yeah.
As an organizer, I'm a little nervous, but also, cautiously optimistic because the guys at FM4, they're going to figure out their formula pretty fast, I imagine, and get right to it. Tora, we're probably going to figure it out pretty quick, but there's a little bit of anxiety there. I'm not going to lie to you. But I think at the end of the day, part of what keeps communities like FM4, like Tora, like all the other fantastic community-run leagues going is that we have a strong community. And I think part of that is having people like you, Dustin, who aren't even necessarily always racing, but you're part of it.
Yeah.
You keep people engaged, give people a reason to care. And that's something that people really, I think, struggle to bring to a group like that if they're not a driver. How are you going to interact with the drivers? If you're not a painter, how are you going to interact with the painters? You just do that. You slip right in and everyone knows you, everyone likes your company. And I think that's really something that is genuinely hard to capture. And you should always be proud of that.
Yeah, I certainly am. Like I said, if the option to continue to do this with the new Forza Motorsport existed from launch, I'd certainly be on board. It's just, man, not knowing how long that may be, and not having the motivation to like just play the game myself here at launch until that feature finally comes available is just what took all the wind out of my sails. But there is a very strong contingent of the Forza community who is all about the competition aspect. You got your painters, you got your tuners, you've got your photographers, your Forza-tographers. You've got people who love to take to the track and experience kind of what it is to be a driver without the expense of being a driver. And the thing that I really loved as a streamer was being able to showcase some of that talent of the racing community, and of course the painters as well, as we've seen a bountiful assortment of vehicles with just awesome liveries here in FM4. To be able to kind of showcase that, albeit with a smaller audience or a small audience, was always my goal, is to like help shine a spotlight on people who make the most of competition here and have fun doing it, like not taking it too seriously and being able to express that competitive spirit in a fun and engaging way was always my goal. So I have no doubt, Darkster, that you'll continue that with the Online Racing Association. I look forward to seeing what you all come up with, and certainly I wish you the very best in all your endeavors, whether that being a racer yourself, as an organizer, or the combination thereof, and then of course in your day-to-day life.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, and I do just want to echo. There's a lot of people that try to do what you do. There are very few that do it well, and you're definitely one of the best in the business at doing this kind of thing. And I think that's something you should always carry with you, regardless of whether you do decide to come back into it or not. People are going to remember the quality, the enthusiasm, and the community that came into stuff like this. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it means a lot, and definitely fond memories to look back on. Even for the few times that I was there with Tora for their endurance events, those are definitely not things I will ever soon forget. Because, 24 hours of commentating was probably the silliest thing I've ever attempted.
Hey, you did it. You're the only one that ever pulled it off.
I did it. Probably about half of that broadcast was just mumble jumble, but it happened nonetheless.
Yeah.
All right, Darkser, thank you so much for taking the time here to jump into the driver spotlight, and again, my best to you in all things moving forward.
Hey man, hope to see you around.
Thank you. All right, let's go ahead. It looks like maybe. Oh, yep. A bad to the bone intro, and who I think is responsible for the text-to-speech in the Discord, although I don't yet have the evidence to prove this. NWR Onion with too many eyes. Thanks for dropping in. Let's see, you finished what looks to be 7th overall here at the Bernese Alps for the finale, of course. I don't know that was too big of a concern for you. You raced as much as you could here in FM4. Did you have fun at least?
Oh, yeah, I had a blast. I was just slightly too slow to get up to the people in front, and just how it is.
There were a couple of moments where that pack from 3rd on back to 6th were like just taking jabs at each other, and I thought, okay, this is an opportunity where Onion's going to be able to get into the mix and add yet another car. But were there some personal, like individual mistakes, or were you getting caught up with back markers? What was it that just prevented you from like just being able to be up in there and battling for a top 5 spot for, I guess, the majority of the race there?
Yeah, some individual mistakes. Like at the start of of this most recent race anyways, after all the restarts, I was up close with them for a good few laps, and then slowly after they sorted themselves out, got single file for a little while, it drove away from me. I just didn't quite have the pace to keep up. And then I had to do an extra pit stop. Everybody did 1 stop, I did 2. So yeah, I just kind of ended up by my lonesome.
Yeah.
I ended up with Patches at the end, racing him. I didn't wreck him. He might tell you otherwise, but I didn't. I promise.
At least not on purpose, right?
It most certainly was not on purpose.
Yeah. Another great aspect of FM4. I know I'm sounding like a shill here for FM4, but trust me, like anything that happens on the track should be quickly forgotten, because I don't think anything is done maliciously. It's racing. Accidents are bound to happen, and a A lot of times it's just a matter of I apologize, I my bad, and on to the next race. So don't think that you'll be able to come into FM4 with like an unblemished record of racing. It seems like everybody gets caught up in something every once in a while, even LS Subaru. So it happens to the best of them.
If you come in here and you're a new name, I don't recognize you. Taking you out first corner.
Oh well, see now that's what will get you booted. I can see it now. Slow Motion Fire is watching this on demand, and he's taking a note. Maybe not a physical note, but actually a mental note, and just saying, I've got to look out for that onion guy.
Call me Fear the Fun 1, the way I be shoving people in A class.
Fear the Fun swears up and down that they're all accidents. So, yeah, he was quick to say, I've crashed no one.
I believe you.
The biggest problem for Fear the Fun is where he thinks the apex of a corner is, he shaves even a couple of feet off of that and like flattens out the corner a bit more than he should. I think that's the biggest problem for Fear the Fun.
The only reason he didn't crash anybody this race is because he disconnected.
Yeah, it's hard to ruin anybody else's race when you keep disconnecting. But speaking of the disconnects, it did cause a couple of restarts. So did that also have a bit of an effect on your racing performance here tonight, having to regroup, get back into the grid of traffic, or was that negligible for you?
It definitely affected the pit strategy. If there had been a couple more laps, I probably would have done fine, because I was like just a few too many laps to do one stop. So
yeah, for sure,
that's what it is.
Yeah, that was the thing I was hoping to see pan out the most about this race was 65 laps, Crown Vic. I think it was Barty who said these Crown Vics just shoot up the front tires like mad. The only exception apparently being LS Subaru. It would have been fascinating to see what the different strategies were. So a little sad to see that not play out and what that would look like, but it's just how racing happens sometimes.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know what Subaru has on those tires, but they just don't go away. It's crazy.
He's got the tire, and then wrapped around the tire is just another layer of rubber.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to have to inspect these wheels post race. Unofficial results here, folks.
Exactly.
All right, Onion.
You don't win 12 in a row without cheating. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, not cheat. I mean, even so,
I'm calling him out. I'm calling him out right now.
Even if you found a way to extend the grip in your tires, for the majority of the races here, that should have a pretty small, if any, effect on the performance. So clearly, Subaru was not needing to rely on some sort of.
I'm not saying he isn't
expanded
fast.
grip.
I'm just saying it seems a little suspicious.
All right, well, file a complaint with Slow Motion Fire or Fear or Modern, and I'm sure they'll get around to it when they can.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They'll be itching to get at that one.
All right, NWR Onion, Too Many Eyes. That's been one of the fun names for me to say, is call you Onion with too many eyes in your name.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
I still remember that very first stream, season 40 in the Carreras.
There you go. Okay, look at that. You've got it down to the season number.
Oh yeah. Race 1, what was it? Hockenheimring?
Was it? Okay.
I don't know.
If there's anything that I can part ways with from FM4 is that you all can remember some weird way in which I have pronounced somebody's name or given them some sort of weird nonsensical like alternative name.
Onion with Too Many Eyes is one of the best I've got.
Yeah, and it's a mouthful, but I practiced it.
Yeah. A lot of people will just try and pronounce the gamer tag, or they'll just say Onion. And I think Onion with Too Many Eyes was a nice compromise.
You know what it is? It's a character flaw of mine where I don't want people to think that your name is actually spelled Onion, that I recognize that there are too many eyes, so I have to say it.
Yeah.
It's a character trait that I can't shake. Yeah, Onion. There says FM Darkster with a Y in it. Yeah.
Onion.
All right,
is the one I get all the time.
Yeah. All right, Onion, too many eyes. Any shout outs tonight?
Shout out to Barney for being the worst driver in FM4.
Oh, poor Barney.
I
He gets
God.
enough grief for picking Suzuka in the rain that you got to call him the worst driver?
God, I don't know. I don't know what it is. He just rubs me the wrong way.
Well, maybe if you didn't have too many vowels in your name, you would be all right.
Yeah, Also, shout out to Slottles and Trotting Boots. They're my two biggest fans.
Oh,
I know
you're
Barney may
taking
have said
their
something,
okay,
but they're with me. They're with me.
You know what? I like it. I like it that you're taking the heel approach to FM4. We have so many heroes. We have so many drivers who are like, who could possibly not say, I want to get behind that driver and rally and cheer them on. You're taking the opposite approach of being the heel.
Consider me Chick Hicks.
Huh?
Consider me Chick Hicks.
What is that?
You not seen Cars?
If I have, it's been a long time.
Okay, well, go watch Cars.
You're the antagonist, is what you're saying.
I'm Chick Hicks. Kachika.
All right. For what might be the last time.
Shout out Dustin.
Oh,
my favorite. My goat. We love Dustin. I'm sure you got enough praise today.
Yeah, I know. I like just hold on. Keep showering. Come on.
I'll pile on. Let's get that ego even bigger.
I know. What you guys don't know is that like in a month I'm just going to announce that I've returned.
Yeah.
I just want all this attention is what I'm going for.
Exactly.
All right. What could be the last time ever? Onion, too many eyes. I know it's been sporadic, but I appreciate chatting with you here in the driver spotlight. I love seeing your participation out there on the track. Again, best of luck to you in all of your virtual racing endeavors, and then of course everything in the real world that's part of your life. My best to you in all those things.
Thank you very much. And oh my God, look who's in the interview queue.
Oh my gosh, he's shown up from the
harvested
beet farm.
all the beans.
Yeah,
all the beans have been harvested.
Oh, beans, not beets. All right, Onions. Again, thank you very much, and have a great rest of the evening here.
Yeah, you too, Dustin.
All right. Slow motion fire. I don't dare here in what could be our final interview call you Fear the Fun. It's unfortunate that you haven't been able to participate out here on the track. I know you certainly would be there if you could. I know life priorities have got your attention, but you have joined us here in the driver spotlight, the conclusion of race number 9, season 54. It wasn't as cool as Top Gear Test Track.
Okay, I didn't see any of the race. I literally just walked in the door and saw you were still live, so I jumped into the interview queue to see how it all went.
I like it. I know you had sent me a nice message, thanking me for all the time spent here with FM4, but it's great to chat with you and say, hey, the last 5 years, almost 5 years to the month, like October 30th, season 24, the Fiat X19 was the first time I had commentated with y'all. I don't remember how that came to be, but I'm so glad it did. And so for 25 seasons, over 115 broadcasts, it's just been a joy here on Tuesdays. I mean, I don't know what else I could have done better on Tuesdays. So it is with a heavy heart to say that this is like the end of the road, but here we are.
Yeah, well, it will not be the same without you in the broadcast booth. Like you said, you've been here for 5 years. It's hard to believe that the racing, it just won't be the same. And I remember trying to recruit you because I had been racing in your Mileage Masters
That's
series.
Right.
And I'd sent you a couple messages like, hey, I run a league. You want to do a broadcast? And I'm sure you're like, who is this guy?
No, quite the opposite. I mean, I was sharing with Darkster a little bit ago as we were, talking about FM4 and Tora and that transition into the new Forza Motorsport and what that means for these leagues as they try to take on the hurdles that Turn 10 has set before them in terms of how drivers are going to be able to acquire cars and have cars that are capable of joining into these private lobbies to do these league races and all that stuff. And it just reminded me that, like, at that time, we're a year into Forza Motorsport 7. Things are looking up because Turn 10 made some design decisions that favored the community because at the release of Forza Motorsport 7.
NWR Unio aka Mr. Fear sucks.
Oh gosh, here we go.
Said Dustin is the best.
Text of I don't know if you can hear that, but I don't know where that's coming from.
I don't know. You were cutting out on my end. Is there some sort of feedback or something?
No, I think somebody's doing like text to chat. I'm not sure where it is, and I think it might be messing up with the interview stuff. You have a saboteur among the ranks of FM4 drivers.
Ah, okay. Nothing's coming through on my end, so I'm in the lost here.
You'll hear it on the VOD. You get to see the fun.
Okay.
But as I was saying, like when you must have come to me. I just sadly I don't remember. I apparently have the memory of an elephant, but no, I was like gunning to jump at the opportunity. There was some tourist stuff that I had done that I was like, man, this is an opportunity for me to like show that this is my contribution to the Forza community, right? Is to be able to, not as a driver, but as a spectator, a commentator, a broadcaster, be able to show the skill set of others that hopefully maybe the rest of the Forza community can appreciate. Will bring about the audience and get people excited about what they see and maybe encourage them to become a driver in these community leagues, FM4, Tora, and all that. So it wasn't a matter of, gosh, who is this and why should I be doing this? It was more of like, look at this. Here's an opportunity. So thanks to you for reaching out.
Oh, yeah, no problem. You've done all the work. We just have to race.
Well, I mean, I would argue that's you all doing the work, and it's just me sitting here pressing buttons and talking on a microphone. So I guess two sides of the coin here. We already talked with Fear the Fun about the transition into Forza Motorsport, the new Forza Motorsport, so I'm not going to belabor that point. But, I will be what I can't shake is curiosity. My curiosity for what's going on in the Forza Motorsport world. Although my intentions are not to continue on with the new game, despite what I've been up to for the last 20 years in participating in Forza Motorsport and Forza Horizon and everything that the community has to offer. But I will be curious. So, man, I hope you guys got somebody who's willing to take the torch. I don't have a physical torch to hand off to anybody, but maybe somebody else will be able to do that. If at the very least, be able to do it from like a driver's perspective, even if it's not having a spectate mode to do that. If one of the drivers are able to do it, I certainly will be a fan forever and always. A huge advocate for FM4. I can't think of how many times I've stopped the interviews here to just say, hey, go check out FM4 on Discord or on Reddit and be a part of it. You guys got a good thing going on, and it's really cool what a group of folks are able to do with just a video game, a chance to interact over Discord, and the spirit of competition, I guess.
It's my turn to turn the questions on you, Dustin, because what has been your favorite season? The last, you've probably done like 25 seasons of broadcasting, I think. I think you started with 25 and you missed a few in there, so we'll call it 25.
My favorite is any season that didn't include... No, I'm kidding. Subaru.
Yes, the pre-Subaru years.
No. I mean, I think... What I absolutely appreciate with a driver like Subaru in a series like FM4 is that you guys have always considered yourselves a beer league, but what's great is that the fact that it attracts drivers of any skill level. It's proven. I can't just say it and for everybody to go, Dustin, I don't know about that. No, you got LS Subaru, who's probably more than capable, if there was ever a Forza Racing Championship, to be high-performing driver in that series. And then, of course, you've got people who are showing up for the first time in multiplayer in a game where it can be intimidating. It can be like off-putting that there is tuning and upgrades and painting and all this stuff involved, and yet you all have found a way to make it welcoming, inviting for anybody of any skill level to race against real humans without the fear of ruining the race or being a burden or anything like that. So to go back to your original question, in terms of what's my favorite stream, I don't know that I can pinpoint one single one, but I was telling Fear earlier, like, there you had it, season 24, the X19s. It was the birth of the T-phrase big time tooth guy meme. And really it was 9 races in which I said, gosh, I want to do this again. So then came season 25 and 26. And, sure, I haven't done every single season since season 24, but now 25 seasons in, nearly half the amount of time that you guys have put into running this league, 115 some broadcasts, and the chance to be able to speak to the drivers without having ever met you all in person. The entire experience has just been fantastic and something that obviously I don't think I'll be able to replace.
I think if I had to nail down favorite seasons from your broadcast would be either the F100 pickups. There was a fantastic oval race that season where fuel was a major player, and if you were drafting and could save fuel, and we had final lap pit stops and everything else going on, and the Cadillac limousine season, because I never would have guessed that car would have been as fun to race, and that we would have just been side by side the entire time. That season was just a blast.
Yeah. It's crazy. You guys, that's the other commendable thing about y'all. You took what seemed to be the most obscure cars of the Forza Motorsport roster and actually made them exciting, interesting to watch, competitive. That was great. So, yeah, there are too many good seasons for me to say that that's a favorite. I suppose anytime that I have peaked my microphone, whatever season in which my microphone has peaked the most, meaning I was the most excited about and screaming into the microphone, is probably my favorite. Not great on the ears for the viewers, but hey, if I was into it and I was screaming, then gosh darn it, you knew the enthusiasm was real.
Probably the Scirocco season then.
Oh,
I seem to remember a lot of yelling from you from the guys running in the front in the Scirocco season.
If only I had invested in those professional. Well, I need an amplifier. There's so much stuff. You know what? You all are a beer league. I'm a beer league broadcaster. So there we go. That's just what it boils down to.
Hey, it's been working the last 5 years. Why change it?
Well, working is one way to, I guess, describe it. Yeah. I wish there, like I said, I shared this sentiment earlier. I know while you weren't able to be a part of the action tonight, but I shared the sentiment that I wish it were only more people that that it impacted, that it had an impression on. So it is what it is. I'm proud of what was achieved in 5 years, but yeah, like I said, I'll always be curious about what is next for FM Crew. So I'm not going to be a phantom in the night, I guess. I don't know. I guess it depends on where you'll find me, but some way, somehow, I will rear my head into whatever's next for FM4.
You'll be back as the mysterious Racer X. Is that what you're saying?
No.
New branding,
again,
new gamer tag.
Again, I can't stress it enough that grind, that Forza Motorsport grind, especially now in the new title, is just not something that is that's beckoning me. It's not.
Yeah, we'll have to see once we get our hands on it what is actually there.
Yeah.
How that all plays out.
Oh. Well,
introduce a new week to the schedule just called Grind Week.
Yeah,
try and get everybody with the upgrades before.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Your off-season period of 3 weeks or whatever transitions into grind mode. Yeah, there you go. The drivers have to be invested not for 5 weeks of the season, but just for all 52 weeks of the year.
Must commit.
Must commit. Otherwise, how are you going to have a car that's ready to go? All right.
Yeah. We'll just see. We've got nothing on the schedule until the game comes out and we
Yeah.
kind of figure out how all that's going to work, and then you'll see races start showing up again. So we're going to have to go into a short break here as we all try and figure out just what this game has for features and what we're going to be able to set up in it. So
Yep.
there might be some off the books racing going on.
There you go.
But nothing official.
Yeah. Yeah. No better way to kind of like ease everybody in and then introduce the format, and maybe by that time everybody's ready to go. Who knows? But I leave that to you all to figure out. So,
Yeah.
you know, like I said, I probably am repeating myself here, but thanks again for the opportunity, for obviously, like you had said, deciding to reach out. It was awesome the years that I put on events, but it was so much better when I didn't have to organize and commentate the event. So FM4 was like the beacon that I was looking for, of a chance to be a part of something that I can just jump into, reliably have somebody else run the events, and then I could sit here and just chat my head off for a couple of hours on a Tuesday, meet some interesting and fun characters in our pit lane, our Twitch chat, obviously talking with the drivers, getting to know some of y'all, and of course just seeing how everybody progressed over time in terms of competing in the races, but more importantly, just providing that environment that was certainly accommodating for drivers, but also welcoming for our viewers, and giving our the viewership here of X Adventure a chance to kind of be excited about something on Tuesdays if they weren't already, if they didn't have anything else going on, but then also to get familiar and recognize these drivers week after week, and I guess, you know, creating some sort of fanfare and excitement around what y'all have got going on. Not that it didn't exist already, but help amplify that, help expand that a little bit.
Well, you were a major help in amplifying and pushing the series. We had very little exposure until you came along, so that was awesome. Excitement, enthusiasm you put into everything really went a long way and didn't go unnoticed. So,
well, I think I already stepped in it before when I said you guys started out with full lobbies when I was just getting into the commentating aspect of FM4, and then that slowly trickled away. But I'll be I'll be okay with saying that that's just, again, the life cycle of Forza Motorsport 7 and wasn't necessarily me.
okay, we can chalk it up to that. Since it's your last broadcast, I'll let you have it.
I'm not responsible for the decline in participation. It wasn't me having interviews. Gosh, I do commend you for like being flexible with me too, because there were probably some seasons there where between races, between qualifying, where you're like, Dustin, we're ready to go here. You can stop chatting with the racers now.
Oh, we never blamed you. We always blamed the racers. So you got away fine on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I want to continue to throw blame on Fear was very, very chatty.
Oh, well, yeah. You always blame Fear. Either him or Barney. Always a safe bet.
Yeah. Oh, no. Man, I could probably do an entire stream outside of race day that is just talking to the drivers about how they're planning for the races and what their practice looks like for those who actually put in the practice. But, I already told Fear, I told Barney, Subaru, a lot of people who have chatted with me here today. Thank you so much for not only inviting me into FM4, but then also taking the time to speak with me and in front of the viewership, no matter how big, how small. I think that's always been an exciting part of the broadcast, is adding that little element to it. And man, I'm gonna miss it, but you know, the times are changing, I guess, with the new Forza title. So I guess I'll roll with the punches, and the best I can do is, like with everybody I've spoken here with today, is absolutely wish you the best, Slow Motion Fire, in everything with FM4, and then certainly on the day-to-day, everything you got going on in the real life. My absolute best to you in that.
Yeah, and that goes out to you as well. And we hope to see you back in the broadcast booth sometime.
Oh,
maybe
gosh.
maybe
Okay.
we'll convince you to come back. We'll have to throw a party or something.
Invite all the friends at that point. Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm not going to shut the door entirely on something, but yeah, I feel it's indefinite. But man, the good thing is I've got a lot of videos on demand over at YouTube to go back and reminisce whenever I get that feeling. So again, thanks for allowing me to be a part of this, and it's been an awesome experience.
All right, we'll let you get out of here. It's been a long night for you.
All right.
And it's been good.
Yep.
We'll catch you later. Can't wait to watch this one back.
All right. You betcha, Slow, and take care. All right, folks. For those of you who I haven't had the privilege to speak with in the driver spotlight, whether you've been a racer, whether you've been a longtime viewer, whether you just joined within the last couple of weeks, the last few days, or even today, thanks for just, however you found me on Twitch, for dropping in. Even if you haven't been like super involved in the discussion, in the pit lane, the chat, as it is here on Twitch, even just having you lurking and watching, and I don't mean to say this negatively, but like looking over and seeing the number, the viewer count, and knowing, okay, there's people who are enjoying this. This is content that at least provides some form of entertainment or interest to somebody. It has meant the world. Really, when I started doing this, even before FM4, back in the late days of Forza Motorsport 5, even in the early days of Forza Horizon 3, I was hosting races. There was a skip in between Forza Motorsport 6 and then the launch of Forza Motorsport 7, as I had real-world stuff to tend to, and therefore I wasn't streaming. My goal, my aspiration, my motivation, my drive for this channel is always to shine a spotlight on I guess what I consider like the racing heroes of the Forza Motorsport community. It's we're not big time. This is a video game. I realize the limitations in the reach and the audience that comes with content like this, but nonetheless, to be able to hopefully perk up the beginning of the week, make Tuesdays something worth looking forward to. I always say that because Tuesdays are my least favorite of the week, but to be able to I guess grace the internet waves with this content, and whether it's one viewer or 100, it's been an absolute blast in being able to do this. Having a taste at commentating the Honda Fan Cup with Forza Horizon 5 and the thousands of viewers that were watching for that event in an opportunity that I never saw coming. It just kind of fell on my lap one day. For those who vouched for me and recommended me for that opportunity, I can't thank you enough. I do wish I only wish that there were more opportunities for that, and I only wish that the opportunity for me, and perhaps this is a consequence of my own decisions and the way that I kind of varied the content on this broadcast, is what made it not as engaging as it could have been. But what can I say? I'm just kind of a connoisseur of all things gaming, and so I, for better or for worse, I've enjoyed the content that I put together, but I do wish that I was able to stick around. To Turn 10 Studios, I doubt that there was anybody watching from that neck of the woods, but the Forza Motorsport has been an experience for me that has led me down many different paths, from being a Forza photographer to doing some writing in the forums when community managers were changing out and stuff like that, to being able to discuss with Turn 10 directly about how I do things for events and for commentating. Those opportunities I won't forget, and I'm very thankful to at least have been able to have a chance to bend the ear of some from time to time, and whatever influence that might have resulted in. I'm thankful to have had that. So again, I only wish there was more. I only wish that there was more I could do to have a hand, a role, an impact, an impression on the Forza community. But alas, I'm pretty happy with what was accomplished here over the last 5 years with FM4. So good stuff in that regard. And I know there are plenty, which makes it very difficult in the streaming world. There are many other content creators in the Forza Motorsport world that will continue to do their thing with the new title, from the drivers to the painters to the photographers, the tuners, everybody who has something to offer to the Forza community. Good on you, because over the last 20 years, there have been a lot of astonishing and memorable things that I'm like, man, that's really cool. Taking what is available in a video game and just being able to expound upon that and really help people out, I think, is probably the biggest thing too, is helping people with whatever their Forza endeavor is, has been really cool. So it sucks that this is like what I see to be the end of the road. Like I said, I'll never say forever for anything, but I think after so long, it's like, okay, I think I've done all that I can possibly do to be a contributor here. And so I think I've hit that end of the road sign, the end road, no thoroughfare. This is it. So to my family who have supported me here, not only watching in the broadcast, but those here under the same roof that I'm in and have tolerated me, huge thanks and love there. To those who have followed me, either with my Forza content or otherwise, big time thanks there. To the supporters who have pitched in their hard-earned money to support this broadcast through their subscriptions, and who have gifted subscriptions to other viewers selflessly. Thank you. It was that support that helped me offset some of the expenses of the broadcast. I was always a firm believer in paying for the licenses of music that I aired on this broadcast, so that for those creators, for those who are more talented than I, who could make the music, that I felt like in some capacity I was giving back to them. Those who supported the broadcast above and beyond, you helped me do that, and so that was much appreciated. And without that, I don't know how long I could have gone. Brought me this far. I know I'm probably rambling at this point. So I will leave you all with this, in that this is not the final broadcast of X Adventure. That will be happening on Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be putting together the Lego Back to the Future DeLorean. If you'd like to be a part of that and come chat with me, I'll be here Friday, like I said, approximately 3 p.m. Eastern, going for, I think it's like 4 to 5 hours to put that Lego DeLorean together. We're going to have time. We're going to have lots of time to just kind of banter and chat and all that stuff. So if you want to catch me then live, great. If you can't, completely understandable. Don't worry. The VOD will be available for the 30 days or whatever before Twitch takes it down. And then, like I said, for the majority, like 90%, if not 95% of the Forza Spec Racing Series broadcasts that I've done here on X Adventure, you could find those over on my YouTube, where they will never expire. They will be there forever, unless, of course, YouTube blows up. But who sees that happening? You can go back and just see some of the cool stuff that has happened during the broadcast, some of the ridiculous stuff, and then some of the mundane that happened between laps, between races, between broadcasts. All right, folks. Well, like I said, I've done ramble enough. This broadcast has gone on far too long. Thank you all. And for the last time, at least, here on a Tuesday with the Forza Spec Racing Series, be happy, be healthy, and most certainly, be kind to one another. Farewell, all. Goodbye. typo in there. I'm gonna fix it. Hold on. Can't close the stream with a typo. Oh gosh, this is embarrassing. Saved. I saved it. Bye, y'all.